This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. What's going on, X&C Podcast? Welcome, everybody, to the show. What a week. We've had more games than we can stuff our faces with. I'm Colteastwood, the host. I'm here with Middle-Aged Game Guy.
Yes,
Bro,
sir.
how are you today?
I am excited to be here today. You know, we have a lot to talk about, a lot of things going on. The Black Friday sales have been happening for all three companies out there. Well, actually, all four if you want to include Steam out there. A lot of good stuff. Pick up some great deals on Xbox, on PlayStation, on Nintendo, on Steam. All right now, this is the time to do it. And I indulged in quite a bit for
divulged
deals. I know, I couldn't think of the words. It was far too fancy, my lord. Anyways, I got a bunch of games that are on the Keeley list there, and of course on the Golden Joys.
I couldn't even do it.
You have to have your pinky in the air.
I tried.
I got a bunch of stuff from the Golden Joysticks and from the Game Awards, and I'm like, hey, now I can judge for myself what I think has the merit to make it and what doesn't, or whatever else. The only one I did not get is a Balatro, but I would imagine I could probably just pick that up on my phone. No, isn't it like a mobile game as well?
You can, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll just download it on the phone. That's cool. So yeah, I'll have a representation of every game except for Black Myth Wukong, because I'm still hearing that there are still some performance issues even on the PS5 Pro for it. So I was just like, how about if I just wait till it's a little cheaper and wait till they iron out the details? So
yeah, I wonder if they're going to, when it comes to Xbox, it'll finally be console ready. But I have a feeling even then it'd probably be rough. I'm waiting.
I don't know, man. I'm waiting. And you know what? To me, this is like a Ubisoft game. Ubisoft games are best consumed 1 year later at $20. Right. And I'm not even making a joke about that. I'm being dead serious. That is when the Ubisoft game is in its prime. It is a year after release and about 80% off, because that's when you're going to get the great deal, first of all, on the price. And second of all, they iron out all those details with the 8 million updates and bug fixes and everything that they go through. Like, for example, like Valhalla, some of the other games, usually the AC games, whatever, all of them. Give them a year. That's why, I'm not touching what's it called? I almost said Black Flag. AC Shadows. I'll wait, man. I'll wait till next Black Friday. How about that for AC Shadows? By then, hey, think about it. By then, I'll get it for $20, and on top of that, I'm gonna get it all fixed and ready to go. I'm not gonna be. I mean, I'm a beta tester for Ubisoft, but doesn't mean I need to be a beta tester that I pay for it as well, right? So
I mean, I'm playing 4 games right now. I was messing around with Flight Sim. I played Flight Sim on PC and I tried it on Xbox about a half an hour ago, and I'm like, it actually is pretty decent on the console version compared to 2020s.
Is it?
Or 2021s? Yeah, for Xbox. Yeah, it's actually not bad. It looks pretty good. I've played STalker, which is still rough. There's some problems. They've ironed out a lot of stuff at the beginning.
Right. I'm not going to waste anybody's time with the STalker talk, but I will say this. I attempted to play it on Xbox on the first day, and it just wasn't doing you know what I mean? It just wasn't performing the way I could actually play the game. So I'm not going to say the words unplayable because people lose their minds, but I know. You know, it was not playable for me on the first day, and I gave it a good old college try. I put it down. I tried a little bit later. I'm like, maybe it's just me. So I tried a little bit later, still facing the same issues. So I said, you know what? Before I criticize, before I say anything, I'm just going to drop it. And then of course you always have to have that one guy, right? You always have to have the one guy. It'd be like, well, it plays fine for me on my $9,000 PC that's powered by a nuclear reactor. It's like, okay, great, that's wonderful. But I'm playing on Xbox and I'm having some trouble. So I'm gonna
let me interject there.
On it.
I got to interject there because I played the game in preview or in review period, and the day one patch barely fixed the performance. You get into Zalicia, which is your first small town, very, very small town, 5 buildings, and the NPCs around that just completely tank the performance. And I said, I stopped playing it because it was rough. It looked gritty. It looked really downgraded from what we saw in all those
On
really
PC,
downgraded.
or were you playing on Xbox?
I played on Xbox. Then I went to PC. And it looks a little sharper,
yeah.
but I mean, I'm using DLSS. I've got a 4080 Super, and it's really having a hard time running smoothly with all of those things happening. And so I don't normally do this, but I was like, I'm going to hold off on jumping full feet into STalker, especially doing a review, because some critics were like, we're going to give it some leeway because they're going to fix it, but you got to review the game based on what they give you, and this is what it is. But with all that the devs gone through, I'll just wait. There's been so much going on. But I see Red Wolf in the chat. I've been playing the game regardless lately, and it feels like a serious Fallout without any of the nonsense that we love. But it's a really cool vibe, and things just happening organically. It's all about emergent gameplay in Stalker, and it's really hardcore.
Right.
Yeah. So
are you enjoying it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I've been bouncing between so many games, which we'll talk about here in the show. There's a lot to talk about before we even dive into it. I think Meg and I are just like running off, the jaws just falling off our face. We've got some changes here on the overlay, thanks to a friend of mine, Fonz. When you guys become channel members, gift channel memberships, or super chat, it'll pop up on the screen in its own kind of sort of custom animation. So that'll hit underneath Mag's picture. So that's a new thing we've got going on the show that'll help us keep track of supers. And it gives you guys a chance that if you are cool enough to support what we're doing by sending a super chat or whatever, it will be on the screen even after the fact, which is really cool because you deserve that when you have something you want to say. And so we're doing that to make that better. The other thing we're doing today is we're going to give away 5 Call of Duty Black Ops coins from Xbox Fan Art. You can see them up here. Up here, the coins are, there's 3 different variations, and we will pick 5 winners who comment something really great that sticks out from the mods, and you will get a randomized, the Reaper, the Recon, or the other one. I forgot what they're called, but you'll get whatever coin you get. That's what you're going to have to play as that when you get the game or when you play the game. But yeah, that's where we're doing that randomly. So if you get one, it's like, no, I wanted the pig. But yeah, but we appreciate you guys. There's a lot that goes into making the coins and getting them all shuffled out, picking winners and shipping them. But it'll be awesome if you win. I don't even have that coin yet, but here's the, what was this one? Last year's Call of Duty coin? Can't remember. But yeah, they're awesome. I've got them all laid out in a line on my desk. So that's that. Good. So yeah.
Achievement unlocked for anybody who gets a coin. 100 achievement points right there, ladies and gentlemen. It's the same as finishing Black Ops 6 on Veteran. Can you guys pull it off? Let me know in the chat who's pulled it off besides this guy right here.
Yeah, we know that Risket's pulled it off many times.
Many times when
no one's looking.
Yeah.
Speaking of all the games we've been playing, because when I'm playing games, I get intense, and the thirst is strong on XNC, isn't it, Mag?
It is.
Do you have a fix for that?
Not really 100% sure. I mean, thirsty men, thirsty gamers need something to quench that thirst. And what could do that, ladies and gentlemen? There's nothing else that can quench that thirst than 4xpgamingdrink.com. Go to 4xpgaming.com. You got to go check out the website. You got to go check out some of their energy drinks. Absolutely amazing, folks. Listen, what's the date today, Colt? Tell me the date, buddy. Come on. Help me out.
10/25? Or
10/25.
11/25.
11/25. Do you know what that means? Yeah. It means that exactly 1 month today, it is Christmas Day, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. It is Christmas Day. And for anybody else observing otherwise, in about 3 weeks is Hanukkah. In about 3 weeks is Kwanzaa. Guess what? These are all things that we're going to celebrate together. But you know, one thing we can all celebrate that we all have in common, 4xpgaming.com. Go to 4xp Gaming and go pre-order your energy drinks right now. Listen, I want you to buy 4. Okay, I want you to buy 2 for yourself and 2 for your best friends. And you know what? For less than a price of a game, less than a price of one single game, you're going to get over 110 portions of this stuff. That is utterly ridiculous. Okay, for cheaper than a game. Okay, you don't even have to buy Black Myth Wukong. Who needs to buy it? I want you to buy Gravewalker. That's what I want you to buy. I want you to buy Ultra Nightmare. That's what my wife calls me all the time when I come home a little bit intoxicated. And then of course there's me playing Call of Duty, legendary. I mean, what are we talking about here? And then what Risket and the Biscuit goes looking for in the nightclubs, especially the all male ones, joysticks. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. They've got 4XP joysticks out there as well, and those are single servings. They're only $2 each. They're actually pretty cool, and you can see them all there on the website. Go check them out. The artwork's amazing. The backstories are amazing. The characters are so cool. Very Mortal Kombat-ish. In fact, I want to reach out to NetherRealm and say, listen, can you guys take a look at some of these characters and some of these? Can you put them in Mortal Kombat, please? Okay, I'm getting tired of Scorpion. I've been playing Scorpion for 30 years. He's right behind me right there. You see him? I don't need him anymore. I want Gravewalker. 4xpgaming.com, folks. You got to go check the stuff out. Again, listen, the caffeine ain't going to kill you, okay? You could drink 17 of these things a day, and it still won't even reach the maximum amount of caffeine that's recommended, okay? So I wouldn't even worry about it. RFK's got you covered, baby, and 4XP Gaming got you covered. You know what? You're going to stay healthy. You're going to do well. You're going to play games. You're going to be alert. You're going to have a great time at work. You're going to be more focused. You're going to do all these things, but you can only do that with 4XP. Colt, tell these lovely people where they can go and visit this website and go check out where they can get this drink from.
Thank you. You can go to 4xpgaming.com and go to the products page, which I put on the link, and then you can pre-order. Pre-orders go up in the first week of December, which is in 1 week. So I'm looking forward to everybody checking that out. And thanks so much for them for sponsoring us. Let's talk about the gaming. Real Gamer just said, Colt, what CPU you rocking? I have the Ryzen 5 3700X or something like that. I don't know. Hold on. Do you really need to know?
You know, it's funny. What was it? 3 weeks ago, KSNow says, because I said I got a new camera, as people can tell, the new lighting system. Actually, my brother's borrowing the other lighting right now, so it's not as glorious as it was a few weeks ago, but still. And KSNow is like, what kind of camera you got? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like staring at it, and I'm like, sorry, I don't know. It's the same now. People ask you what PC you got, and you're just like,
Yeah, it's the Ryzen 7 5800X. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And a 3080 or 4080 Super, which thank you to Hargeet Chani for sending that to me, which I think is better than the 4090 because it's more affordable and it's really performant. So I am super happy. We got super chats rolling in already, and they are popping up. Subscribers are also popping up as well. You're probably hearing the sound. Let me know if that sounds too loud, and I'll change it next show if I do it now.
Someone said something about it already. They're like, what the hell is that sound? And I'm like, I don't hear anything from this end. It's
you won't hear it. I won't hear it.
I won't hear it. Yeah, that's right.
If it's too loud and it's cutting over us, I'll try and change it in a minute.
How could it be any louder than us? Jesus. Like, that's got to be like a nuclear bomb dropping.
Yeah. I got to start with this one because I love this. Face 23, Brooklyn, New York, Super's a $2 super chat. Says,
big ups to Brooklyn.
Yep. He says, Colt, what platform you playing Death Stranding 2 on? Because I just finished Death Stranding 2 days ago on Xbox Series X. Freaking loved it. So glad I played it there. It's the best version besides PC. I played it on PC, but playing it on Xbox, like where I play most games, such a great experience, and I'm glad I played it. Now, the funny thing is, I don't know. I don't know if PlayStation paid for exclusivity. I'm assuming probably 98% that Death Stranding 2 is only on PlayStation 5 at launch, but Kojima owns the rights to Death Stranding right as of this month. He owns the IP rights to Death Stranding. But PlayStation can certainly keep exclusivity or console exclusivity on a game on an IP they don't own. So it depends. As we get up to how Death Stranding 2 is looking, will I play it day and date if it comes out at the end of 2025, which I think it's probably going to? Will I play it in 2025? Looking at the roadmap, I will absolutely probably be waiting on that, even though I love the series, because if Death Stranding comes out next fall and I'm playing Fable, Grand Theft Auto, and whatever else, that one's going to have to be back burner, even though I love the game a lot. So
if in the unlikely chance that Fable comes out this year, I really don't think it will. I think it's going to slip into 2026. Just me. It's just me.
Yeah, me too.
Can you imagine? I can tell you right now, if Grand Theft Auto 6 and Fable came out in the same time frame, and I mean, what I mean by that is like the fall, All right.
Yeah.
I won't even play Call of Duty that year. Like, there's no chance. What chance are you gonna play a Call of Duty if you have two monster games like GTA 6 and Fable? And like, I'm gonna look at Call of Duty like the redheaded stepchild and be like, you know what, y'all gotta wait. So sorry, I'll play you another time. But that's wild. God.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy
year. And then Death
year.
Stranding doesn't have a chance. Death Stranding doesn't have a chance.
Do you think it's coming out next holiday? I mean,
oh yeah, I think it's much farther along than I think people give it credit for. But I think Sony's two big games next year, unless they announce something else, are going to be Ghost of Yotei and Death Stranding too. I think that's all they got.
Yeah, if Ghost of Yotei comes out in the fall, there's no way I'm touching.
Oh no,
Death
it's
Stranding.
not going to. It's not going.
You think
to.
it's going to get
come
pushed?
out? No, quarter 2. I think it's going to be quarter 2 of
early on.
Yes.
Okay.
I think April, May. I don't have confirmation on that. I could ask around.
I mean, I think Tsushima, the last one, not that it matters, but Tsushima launched at summer or late summer?
It was summer. It was summer. The only reason why I know is because it was it was my wedding anniversary, and my wife and I we had plans or whatever, and the plans kind of fell through, and we were at home with the kids, and we ended up playing Ghost of Tsushima instead.
Yeah.
And drank champagne. Instead of going out, we just did that, and we just drank a bottle of champagne and then another bottle of champagne, and then things got wild. Anyways, and yes, so we actually played it in our anniversary is in July. So yes, the game came out somewhere late June, early July. Yeah. I would expect somewhere around the same, if not earlier. And the reason why, we all know the reason why, folks. Everybody, I don't give a crap who you are or what company you have or what you got swinging in your pants. Ain't no way you're going to be having a measuring contest with Grand Theft Auto. So everybody's avoiding it like the plague. The only ones who are going to be somewhat close, I would be very surprised if Call of Duty doesn't get pushed into November. Because remember, Call of Duty used to come out around Remembrance Day / Veterans Day. You remember that? Usually like November 11, 12, 13. Watch this next year. I think that they'll do that just to give GTA 6 even more of a cushion, and then they can have their own because you know what? By 6-7 weeks, a lot of people have already had their way with the game and whatever. Yes, they'll be playing it for years, but I think that initial rush of people will sort of like dissipate a little bit, and then they'll be looking for a new experience, and then Call of Duty will be right there.
I remember people beating the campaign for GTA 5 after waiting a decade for it. They beat it in like 2 days. Day 2, they're like, done. Like, hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, you know what? I can't do that. I can't do that. And even if I had the chance to do it, I wouldn't want to do it because I want to savor these games. Like some of these games that I'm really looking forward to, I want to savor them like a fine wine. I don't want to
driving around in the world and finding stuff. Or
yes.
Sometimes I just want to spend a day getting chased by the cops in the game over and over and stuff like that, or doing all the races.
Dude,
people just do those campaigns immediately.
I'm still playing Avatar. I'm almost 70 hours in. I have one more achievement trophy to go before I get the 100%. No, I'm not cooking food. I'm not doing any of that stuff. I got one thing to go, is just collecting a couple things, and then I get the 100%. So I'm at 70 hours, but I got to tell you, as much flack as I give Ubisoft, that game is gorgeous. And it's like the world itself, it's so enveloping that you get in there, you're like looking around, you're going through the jungles, you're doing this and that. And that's what these games are for at the end of the day. When these people like literally give years of their lives to make it, to be able to go in there and experience every last nook and cranny that these people have put in there, painstakingly have put in this game for you to enjoy. That's what you're kind of doing. I don't want to like rip through a campaign like I smashed a Michelob Ultra and then crush the can on my forehead and just keep it moving. Like that's not how I do it, man. And you know, same thing with Call of Duty. Yeah. I'm destroying Call of Duty right now. I love it, and I'm going to squeeze every ounce of juice out of that game, right, until I'm done with it.
Yeah, Ubisoft's been having a tough time, and they've been doing a lot to garner the fans' love and appreciation. They're trying really hard. Star Wars Outlaws, they removed the forced stealth from the entire game. There's no more mission end. She puts her hands up, and you start, move a checkpoint. That's going to be gone, or I think it is now. I think that's a tough sell for Star Wars Outlaws. They sent me an email. I'm in their creator program, and they're like, hey, tell everyone they can get the game 25% off. So I guess I'm doing my job. I'm like,
right.
I don't think people want to, but they recently just made Assassin's Creed Syndicate 4K 60 on
I
Xbox
heard.
Series X and PS5.
I heard.
I just replayed or just played it for the first time. I sat down and just played the whole game like 3 months ago on PC because it was like 900p 30 on Xbox. So that would have been nice to pop those achievements and play that game there and use the DVR and all that stuff. That's why it's important for me to play the game I want to play on the console I want to play, where my achievements are building, where my friends are within party chat and Discord, and all that stuff's important. And you can use Discord on PlayStation, but everything that I do is right there. Everything. So, and the DVR is better on Xbox too. You didn't know that, did you? Yeah, you didn't know that. It's got like 30% better bit rate, which is important for how the games look when you play them on your channel.
It's wild, going back to the Assassin's Creed Syndicate thing, which, I mean, that was one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds. I love the idea, like being in turn of the century London, right in the middle. What a wonderful game. And then, of course, you have the dynamic of playing brother or sister, right? So that was really cool. I really enjoyed that. I really wish they'd go back to that. I would take a sequel to that any day, but especially during that time period. Yeah, great game. I actually had, when I was away a couple of weeks ago, I had my Series S with me in the hotel room, and my son and his friend were farting around playing Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered, because I think it came for free with one of the other ones I bought. I can't remember which one. And you bought one of the games and you got Assassin's Creed 3 Remastered like bundled in with it or whatever. So they're playing with it, and I'm looking at it and I'm going, holy crap, that looked like it just came out. Like, it is stunning. And this is on a hotel TV. Right? Never mind, like, top of the line monitors that we got at home or TVs or OLEDs or whatever people have, right? This was just on a hotel TV, and it looked incredible.
So even
yeah, dude.
Are you talking about it's just amazing. 3 looked incredible, the one where you play as Connor?
Yes.
And it's like it's a slight remaster. I know Red Wolf really liked playing that one. That's not my favorite one, but it looks pretty good, huh?
Oh God, it looks fantastic.
I
was shocked.
I wanted to say what Game Seeker says. I don't know if he's in the chat. I wanted to say it looked pretty good, eh?
What do you say?
I've been talking to him a lot, and he's up in Montreal, I think. I'm sorry.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah, and he says A lot, and I always laugh. I said I love it every time you say A, because I talk to Mag.
I say A, I don't even notice it. Or
you don't say it as often. He says it all, like he's always like, "Yo, so you really like that game, eh?" And I'm like, "Oh, I love it."
It's not our fault, man.
I love it.
It's not our fault. That's how we talk. It's
good.
It's something that we do up here. Even as an Italian, I still say it up here.
It's like funny. Over here on the West Coast, and I'm in Washington State. Like, we say "dude" for dude. You see that, dude? And then you hear yourself on like a recording. You're like, "Oh, is that what I sound like?" Okay, let me move to this. I really am excited about this. Here we go. If everything was working good. All right, I've got an hour plus of Avowed gameplay that'll run during the show here while we talk. And I thought maybe we'd take a minute to kind of do what we do. I'll ask Mag. Maybe I'll grab these 2 supers here first. I'm going to ask you, Mag, about what you think of Avowed. But Emperor Hound 393 with a Canadian $7. Shout out to Canada. He says, it's the 25th. It's my birthday. Shout out, he puts your hands up. Shout out to 2 of the greatest podcast hosts to ever did.
Wow. What Emperor, dude, happy birthday, man. I talked to him yesterday briefly, wishing him a happy birthday and everything else. So enjoy, have a great time. I know it's a Monday night, but that means nothing, man. It's 5:00 somewhere, and it's always a Saturday night, as long as you want it to be, right?
You can always call in sick tomorrow, bro.
Yeah, call in sick. What kind of a... Never mind, I'm not going to say that stuff. Just show up to work hungover or still drunk. What's your problem? I do it.
It's the same work performance either way, right?
I'm at the top of my game at all times. Doesn't matter what's going on. Stay up till 5 o'clock in the morning. Go to work at 7. Let's go, baby.
I know.
I followed for weakness.
I followed you on TikTok, and the first one that gets recommended to me is you in 2 different wigs, and I'm like, well, this is a good way to rev up the morning. Mag in a wig.
You know how many wigs I have, by the way? There's a closet over here, which obviously is off screen, and this is where all the stuff that my wife, whenever she goes shopping or she's at the dollar store or wherever, and she sees a disguise, a wig or something, whatever, she always picks them up and just throws them in that closet. And I'm like, what the hell's all that stuff for? She goes, well, in case you need something for one of your videos or something else. I always got wigs and costumes and outfits and bras and whatever else, like for you to wear for like your ridiculous videos. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. So I got about a dozen wigs in there. And of course, obviously, I have no real hair, so I need something. But anyways.
Right.
What are we talking about, dude?
I was talking about the super about his birthday.
Yes.
The footage you're seeing here is 70% of what I didn't end up putting in my preview video. And thanks to everybody for checking that out. I got like 70,000 people that watched that. But yeah, you're seeing all of the B-roll that I record. Not even B-roll. This is just everything I recorded in my preview except for the prologue, which I couldn't show. So yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute. But first, Red Wolf Renegade has a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, Red Wolf. We talked for about 2 hours today. He says, Stalker 2 is doing really well right now. I'm 40 hours in. I barely scratched the surface. Pause. Stalker 2 has sold over 1 million copies, and it's on Game Pass, so it proves that Game Pass does not cannibalize sales, and games are doing really well for Xbox right now. He says, Mag, definitely give it some time to get into. It's a vibe you really have to grow into. It's a slow burn. Yeah.
Oh, it's not. It wasn't that. I was just having some trouble with the actual like mechanics. I was having some trouble. The performance is like I was in the sewers at the beginning of the game when you get out of the Jeep and all this. I'm not going to go into spoilers. And then you get in like the sewer area, whatever. And then there was an area I had to shoot a lock, and I'm like, oh, okay, I got to shoot this lock here and this and that. And I
forgot.
Then I was just like, I turned the like my arm, I guess, whatever, the camera, and then I turned it, and then went like 2 feet away from the lock. I'm like, no. So I turned back towards the lock, and then I'm like, okay, there we go. I'd shoot, and then it would miss, and I was like, oh crap. It was just a frame rate thing or whatever. And I'm like, listen, I'm not gonna smack talk nothing. I'm not gonna say this. Oh, what a broken mess. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm going to give it time.
I'm being a little nice for it right now.
I'm going back to it. I'll go back to it, but not now. Not now. So I'll give him the benefit. It ain't going anywhere.
No, and it's one of those games when you're like ready for that vibe, like sit down. It's so rewarding. And I loaded it up on PC, and I'm like, oh, this looks great. The first thing it does is look like this. And I'm like, no, like that's my gun. I'm like, no, stop that. and then my character would go or walk forward. I'm like, what's going on? Yeah, random says main issue is stick drift on.
Yeah,
he wrote stuck drift. I couldn't read it.
Yeah.
It's like I was aiming worse on PC. It's like 10 times worse. I took the sensitivity and put it down to 0 just to get it to stop moving. And then when I tried to move the gun, it was like, so yeah, that is a problem. It's way better on console for that part.
Really? Okay. All right.
For the controller part, if you're on a wireless controller, yeah, or whatever.
I had some hairless dog like jumping around. Like I left the sewer area and I went outside, and then there was some hairless dog from like Doom 2, and I'm like, oh, I know you. And then all of a sudden it was like standing on my head, and I'm like, where did you go? And I went to go shoot the damn thing, and then all of a sudden it disappeared, and then it was on my head, and it was like floating, and I'm like, oh no, not the Bethesda character float. What's going on here? I was like, did Todd Howard work on this? Anyways, all joking aside, sorry,
it's a whole thing.
Had to do it, buddy. Anyways, I said I'll give it time because you know what? I like scary. I like survival. I like survival horror. It's not really considered horror, but it's sort of considered like a post-apocalyptic sort of horror kind of vibe to it. And I'm like, I'm interested. So I'm going to go and I'll definitely go back and do it, but I'll give them some time. Just like Ubisoft, I'll give it a little bit of time and then go back and give it another shot. But right now, I gave it the college try, and I'm like, let me just go back to it another time. Because right now, I'm finishing up Avatar. We've got Indy Jones, in a couple of weeks? 2 weeks, barely?
Yeah.
I still got Call of Duty going on, and that's just on the Xbox side. And then, of course, I got my Pro on the other side, so I've got a bunch of games. I started Stellar Blade this week. So, my God, in Pro mode, that game is utterly eye-melting. It's incredible. So I got all that going on. It's one of those games they said
really improved with the Pro.
Yeah, holy crap. Yeah, it's something else. So you know what, Stalker 2? When I hit January, February, I'll come back to you, buddy. But for now, keep working, babe.
Yeah. I'm just noticing that all of the super chat won't show up on screen. I'm gonna have to like make room for that, or maybe do a scaling issue. But we're figuring it out. I think it's going to be okay. We'll figure out the pop-up thing.
I mean, I see them. They're here.
Yeah,
They're
thank you guys. It's really, really super cool. And you, like I said, you deserve to see your stuff on screen and for it to be like emblazoned on there after the fact. So we're fixing it. We're working on it. I think it's cool. I think it's good for, it's great for everyone. Thanks, Red Wolf. Appreciate you so much. Risk It for the Biscuit with Australian $3 says, are you going to replace Mag in 2025? Please. I need to buy a new mic.
Yes. Yeah. Please replace me with Risk It for the Biscuit. Please.
Yeah,
and
you guys love that, right?
I'll send in super chats as well. Yes.
Yeah. BT Maverick says, Colt, can we watch that B-roll somewhere? I thought about, I didn't know what to do. I thought about adding, making like a 30, 35-minute video and cutting out any of the nonsense and then like maybe have some, my thoughts over it. But I kind of already made that video and they don't really want us to upload our footage. I'll have to go back and look at the embargo. It's not an NDA, but look at the embargo information. I don't know, BT. I'll think about it. But like I said, what you're seeing here, there's some really cool stuff. And I don't show long drawn out fights in my preview because it could just run and take up much of the video. So here you'll kind of get to see me die because I'm taking on enemies I'm not supposed to. It's fantastic. United Kazada with a member chat. Thank you so much. Says, use this super chat as a like button. That blue number and Ben Kenobi have Call of Duty coins giveaways here and that you can win tonight. So he says to like that member chat if you can still see it. But also, write something about the coin and or just write something about the show and we'll try and pick winners. Appreciate you. Purple Haze 4564 with a $10 super says, is Xbox developing their next console to allow Steam and Epic stores on that console? If this happens, that would be the console war would be over. And why do you think they didn't think of that sooner? Well, the console war has been over for like 10 years, really. But if Xbox allows you to take all of the games you bought on PC essentially and play them along with your Xbox games without emulation or any of that nonsense, I think it'll be a game changer. And PlayStation is also pivoting hard, which we'll talk about later. Yes. So I really don't know where to go with that. That's a discussion we'll have in a little bit. Let me see if I can get back on track.
Yes. That's okay. I'm about to take us off track for a second. I got three things I got to respond to in the chat. First of all, Corey No for Life. Let me tell you something. He goes, he doesn't play Xbox. I was on Xbox today. Clown show. Where were you at? I got almost 400,000 gamer score. Almost 400,000 gamer score. Where are you at?
2 times more than me.
Yeah. Let me see what you're playing right now, sucker. And Clarky777. Dude, if there was ever a name that would be perfect for a Jaguar commercial, that's yours. So listen, you enjoy yourself there with all your little small talk, okay? All right, and the last but not least, Risk It for the Biscuit says he wants to 1v1 me. Dude, if we're playing on Call of Duty and you jump in against me, it's basically 1v nothing, okay? So just stay at home, wrestle crocodiles, drink your Fosters, and just send in $3 super chats. Thank you very much, Risk It for the Biscuit. Really appreciate it, my friend. Anyways, let's go, Colt. Now that I've buried 3 people in one grave, let's carry on, my friend.
All right, Meg, I don't really know. Oh my gosh, in the chat, I am so out of order. Jez Corden of Windows Central and Xbox 2.
Oh.
The sleepiest podcast that has ever dominated the airwaves on the internet of podcasting. He changed his family plan, so they were going to have their show today, but he said, he gives a super and says, Colt, I'm going to give the likes the thumbs up on this. Colt ruined my family plans, crying emoji, which is it's true.
What did you do?
I yelled at Rand the other day. I said, "Why do you have to do your show on the same day I do my show? You ruin everything." And I called him a bunch of names, and he says, "Let me talk to Jez." And then Jez goes, "Are you serious? That whiny brat?" Okay, I'll change my family plans. Yeah,
unbelievable. Clark, you know I'm just kidding, right? Yeah, no, he knows. He was laughing. Sorry.
No. Yeah,
although I'm not taking back that comment about the Jaguar commercial. That's not happening. I'm not taking it back. Risk It. I'm definitely not taking it back. Corey No for Life, weekly. He's like the new Magnum, eh? You know how remember Magnum used to be? I think Magnum gave up eventually. Where is Magnum anyway?
Magnum is feeling much more charitable and loving lately.
I think we beat him into submission. I don't like that. I want him to keep coming at us. It's actually much more amusing that way. Anyways,
yeah, no.
I'm glad you ruined somebody's somebody's vacation time.
We we do appreciate you guys. Almost 500 watching. Thank you so much. Hit the like button. We're live on YouTube. We're also on demand on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, other platforms. So you can listen to this whenever you want. We also do a video version of this on Spotify. Just go to the extra mile so you guys can enjoy the, Mag and I being nonsense morons. And we appreciate you.
We're not morons. We have nonsense. And we are talking sense. Common sense.
All right.
Dollars and cents. That's what we're talking about right now. Let's go.
Thank you so much, Jez Gordon, for 5 channel memberships. We appreciate you so much.
Wow.
They just recently turned that on Rand's channel, and they've been killing it. A lot of great support from this community. We appreciate you guys. All right, let me go back to Avowed. I'll ask you first. Mag, I don't know where you are, but
yes,
what happened with the previews? Did anything change for you, or where are you sitting for Avowed?
It still is sitting at a more intrigued, but still wait and see. I want to see how the final product comes out. However, what I did see was a lot more promising than what the trailers showed. And that's the funny thing, because when I watched the trailers, the first one, I'm like, all right, didn't really know what was going on. Watch the second one. The second one actually pulled me back a little bit, and I said, you know what? It wasn't looking as good as I wanted it to look. Not just aesthetically, I meant even gameplay wise or whatever. And I just wasn't connecting with me. Right. And then I saw the actual previews, and then I saw people playing it. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, this is starting to look a lot better. And I see people making the comparisons with other RPGs out there. Now, would you consider, I know you played it, and like I said, I'm just a bystander here. I'm just watching. Okay. I'm a voyeur, so to speak. You, however, have actually played the game. Now, if you were to make a comparison, would you say that this is like a CRPG, as in a computer/classic RPG, or would you liken it to something like The Witcher 3? What would you if you were to put it in the same arena as something else? What would you put it in there, just as even a loose comparison for everybody listening to the show tonight, including myself?
Okay, that's a super good question, because it can feel like a funner version of Skyrim, more vibrant or more flexible. You have access to way more powers on the fly. A lot of cool stuff you can do with Skyrim. You have to go in and out of menus to make it happen, and then you go, which is awesome.
Whoa, wait, what do you mean? What do you mean by in and out of menus? Like quick menus, like a weapon wheel, or a spell wheel you could just pull up.
Yeah, I only have access in this build to 2 switchable weapon loadouts, but later on you'll unlock 4. So by hitting the Y button, you can switch. Okay, let me, on screen right now, I've got the grimoire and a mace, and then I've got a wand and something else, right? I can just tap Y and I can switch between those 2 builds like this, right? And then I can use the powers, and then you have, with the grimoire, you have 4 different attacks, elemental attacks, and then you have the melee button, right? So it's kind of hard to describe. So you have access to, this build I have access to 6 different attacks, right? That's what I'm trying to say. And if this was Skyrim, you hit B and you go in and you switch. You go over, click real quick, magic. You go over and you click real quick, sword. And some of this is all on the fly with the system.
Okay.
That's just the combat. The combat also kind of feels like Dragon Age Veilguard. Which is really good.
I haven't played yet, but I heard their combat in that game was great. Fluid, its fluidity. Does it move well?
Okay, so
first person.
Yeah, the melee combat, a lot of people are worried about, and everyone will watch from here. They'll stand back here and say, combat looks clunky, combat looks glitchy, it looks lame, right? But when you're playing it and you're hitting an enemy, and there's a word somebody taught me that some of you in the chat might know. It's like hit drag, or there's a word that when you and I played Dying Light 2 and Dead Island. I
was about to bring up.
When you hit the zombies, if you're holding a pipe, you hit them, the weapon will bounce off. When you hit these enemies, the weapon will kind of stop and slow down and then smack across. So you're not going ghost, 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 ghost through an enemy. You're going smack, smack. And it's hard to describe, but there's the rumble and the weapon slows down. I hope this doesn't sound super goofy, but it all translates into a really cool feeling when you're hitting enemies or breaking them when they're frozen and stuff like that. So that's great. And I know that people are going to say combat still looks it looks slow, it looks clunky, but I'm looking back at my replay of me. I look like an idiot when I'm swinging, but of me on camera. I really did like the combat, and then the wand. You can play in third person. Third person's really, really good. It needs a little bit of improvement. But when I was doing the wand in first person, it felt like I was playing Hogwarts Legacy in that perspective, and I was like, chef's kiss. It was so cool. Just like whack, whack, whack. And if they have armor, there's a metal clank as you're breaking through their armor with the projectiles. Really cool. Sorry, I'm rambling, but it was pretty
No,
nice.
no, not at all. KLZ180 just said the funniest thing in the chat, almost made me derail my whole thought process. He says, I think Magnum is Mag's other account for him to just have to arguing with himself.
that's
actually the greatest. It's probably true with all the mental illness that's floating around in this head. There is something else I want to address here. There's another gentleman in the chat here, Ryan. He's talking about World of Warcraft was promised day one on Game Pass, and he's been asking about it, and I'm like, I actually don't have an answer.
I don't think it was ever promised. It's so stupid they don't have it. It's so dumb I haven't done that.
Yeah, he asked like a bunch of times and whatever. So I just finally noticed it, and I'm like, no, dude, I actually really don't have an idea. So it's not because I'm like grifting for Xbox or I'm trying to hide the truth or something like that. I actually really don't know the answer because I'm not a World of Warcraft player. So I think that news never really crossed my plate. So it was nothing I've ever inquired about with anybody I speak to up at in Xbox in the Xbox camp. So it never really came up. I really don't have an answer.
Yeah, I'll talk out of my rear end on it because I would just assume that Xbox doesn't know what to do with World of Warcraft with their current ecosystem. And my other assumption would be that Blizzard is like, heck no, you're not throwing that on Game Pass. Like, you know how much money we make in subscriptions? Like, we're not going to lose out on that gravy train. And maybe they could come to an agreement, but I just would assume that Xbox is just dragging their feet on it, and I think they need to hustle and do something about it. That's a good question. Thank you.
Yeah, Meg. He had asked a bunch of times, so I was just like looking at it, and I'm like, no, I really didn't know the answer. So, but you know what you just said makes absolute sense. The fact that their business model is entirely 20 or 17 years before Game Pass was even a thing, or 16 years, whatever. It was already built around a subscription service, right? Yeah, so it's actually pretty very ahead of its time. And then of course it's entrenched deep in that business model. I don't think it's ever going to come out. Right. And then I don't think that they can sit there and go, oh, well, if you want World of Warcraft, we'll have another tier where you're going to pay $25 instead of 20 or whatever. And then you can get that as well.
Yeah, that would be a mess, wouldn't it?
No, it'd be a big mess. And I think they're going to avoid it altogether. I think it's going to remain where it is on PC. I don't think it translates well to console anyway, judging by the way that it plays. I think it's a PC game. It's going to stay a PC game. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah, Jess said there's console mods that tons of people say is fantastic, but their audience is where it is, and I think Xbox is. I would say that they don't want to muddle up the messaging, but they muddle up their messaging a lot.
They do enough of that. They don't need to add more fuel to the fire. So let's not do that. But anyways, back to
hold on. Brothers Grimm says, Cole, is the guitar on the background just ornaments, or do you play? Yes, I play all the time. I think I said this last week. I take lessons every Wednesday. I've been playing for 25 years, and I just started lessons, so I'm actually really properly learning things. And I drive my son crazy. He's in band, and I'll look at something, I go, there's two sharps in here. What key is that? And he's like, he rolls his eyes because I never learned music. So yeah, appreciate you pointing that out. I'm trying to look and see if there's any questions about the game. One thing I was going to say that's really cool is your character physically opens chests, physically opens doors, physically pulls levers. And in games like this, like semi-open world fantasy games, normally it's like your character just go like this, or it'll just magically open, which Starfield does. I think those little touches really make the game feel tactile and satisfying. So
I have a question.
What else you got?
I have a quick question. Is that I did see some screenshots of some of like these arms like out like this, like super outstretched, like almost comically outstretched.
Mine were, yes.
Okay, so
I put the field of view to 110. And it's nice because you can see more panoramically of the game. But when you pull out like a flintlock, your arms are just like, because that's what
I saw it and it looked.
I
was weird. Like, what? I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, is that good? Yeah, it's like this. It's like right in your face, like this close. And I'm like, what is happening right now? I'm like, that's so awkward and unnatural. I'm like, well, please don't tell me the whole game's like that.
That's
it just looked really funny.
That's because anything over 90 something in field of view is unnatural to cameras or our lenses in our eyeballs. So if our eyeballs were 110 field of view, that's what it would look like when we were working on something.
Can you imagine us trying to do like tool and die with arms this long, like from our field of view? It would just be like, like,
yeah, and you'd probably see your nose too if you had that kind of
I guess you would. Yeah, I would.
But the trade-off
I'll be right back. I got to grab something.
Okay. Yeah. The trade-off is that the world looks cooler. You get a bigger cinematic view. So I'm going to leave it at 110 when I play the game. Third person combat is really great. There's a couple of animations that are missing. Like when you are down and it doesn't really explain this, but I'm also playing like a beta build. So it's like get the prologue in one area. When you die, you kind of take a knee and your character immediately says incapacitated. And your character goes like this and puts the force out, and you stand back up from like a black and white scene. It's like, it's weird, all in first person. In third person, your character doesn't even kneel. Your character just stands there, and it says incapacitated, revived, or something. So they need to work on that. The other funny thing, I got a million comments, was the hands. When you're walking in first person, your shadow is like this. You can see your shadow in front of you, but the hands are doing this. And I think that in programming, they could probably go into hand movement and half that and be fine. But when I'm walking around like all cinematic trying to record footage, my character's going like this. So I'm sure they're hearing that. And if Obsidian watched my preview,
dude, they sent them out for a reason. They sent the previews for a reason. Well, two reasons. I got one that's more nefarious of a reason. The other one is
what's
because
the nefarious
they want to work.
Give us that one first.
Oh, you want to know the nefarious one, eh? Well, I can't get too deep into that because it's actually it'll hit a little bit too close to home because then it'll out sort of the people that I talk to. However, it's all about. Never mind. I can't say anything. The point is that what a lot of it has to do with ironing out these details. If you see something like that, or you get into those details and be like, you know what, guys, let's work on that. Let's make it look a little more natural. Especially if you have like a nice vista that you're moving into a new area, and the last thing you want to see is some ridiculous animation that's so distracting you keep staring at it, right? So that'd be a whole other situation. However,
when you sprint, it's cool. But then when you walk, it's like the same speed, but you're walking. Yeah. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that Mike Key's asked in the chat while you were talking and describing. He's asking about Toblerone, and ladies and gentlemen, it is that time of year. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. It's Toblerone season, everybody. It's Toblerone. There it is. Toblerone season. There's a 1 pound block of Toblerone right here, and you know what? After you sit down and you go buy yourself a 1 pound Toblerone and eat the whole damn thing, you know what you're gonna do? You're going to be real thirsty. And you know what washes down beautiful with Toblerone? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, 4XP energy drinks. That's right, 4xpgaming.com. Go visit them right now and get something to wash down this holiday treat that is nothing short of magnificent. And I'll tell you something, Jez will know all about it because he's over in the other side of the pond, and they eat Toblerones like mad over there, okay? So I can tell you right now, Toblerone is the bee's knees, ladies and gentlemen. 4xpgaming.com and Toblerone. That's going to be your holiday treats, and I want to see them in everybody's stocking stuffers.
Moose just said that's a child's Toblerone. That's funny.
It's a pound. How much do you want to eat?
Well, I mean, I ate the whole thing in like a day. Yeah, last time. But
dude, they're so good.
What else? Oh, Ryan in the chat's talking about Warcraft Collection. Said it's an RTS game, not an MMO. Maybe that was somebody else. Was that you that said that, Warcraft Collection? I thought you were just talking about World of Warcraft.
I thought Ryan was talking about just World of Warcraft. I didn't realize it was an RTS.
Yeah. I don't know anything about World of Warcraft. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, go check a real source on that game. Yeah. Go check that heavy-set guy in the South Park meme. Check that guy. He knows all about it. I don't know. I know people love the game. No idea. Jez loves it. Zocker loves it, but I have two friends that destroyed their life, but they were too crazy playing that game. Shout out!
Dude, I know a guy who literally lost.
Appreciate you.
I know a guy who literally like lost his apartment.
3 guys
back in the old days, and he was sleeping in his car, and then he ended up like renting another room from a girl that he was like a landlord. He ended up sleeping with the landlord in order to get like cheaper rent, which is hilarious. No, it was great.
Was it Mr. Furley?
And then you know what he did? He ended up just stopped showing up to work, and then they found out that he was staying up 4 and 5 days straight playing World of Warcraft, and he lost his job, he lost his career, he lost everything just from playing that game. And I'm like, dude, couldn't you just play the game after work?
You want to hear?
What's the matter with you?
You want to hear even worse? My really good friend was going to University of Washington to become a doctor, and he discovered World of Warcraft. He was so hooked on the game, he stopped going to class. He came back home with his tail between his legs and went to trade school for graphic design, and that's what he does now because he was hooked on World of Warcraft at a pinnacle time in his life. Now, that's not everybody. But look at me, I put 300 hours into Crackdown, and look where I've made myself, and I'm a real winner. Oh, yeah. Anyway. Any other questions about Avowed? I'll let this stuff play out for a little bit, but I don't know. I really liked it. So if you watch my review, I'm repeating myself, but they gave us a 2-hour demo, which is like a half an hour prologue, and then an hour something doing a couple missions, and then you check into the big castle and you walk in the gates, and as soon as you walk, it's like envoy. Somebody calls to you and an arrow hits you in the chest in first person, and it fades out and says, "Thank you for playing." I'm like, what? And so I started a new character and played the game like 10 plus hours with that character. I just did everything. By the time the beta ended, which was 3 business days, by the time the beta ended, there were no more enemies. I walked every area in the Dawn Shore open map because the game has one big map, and each segment is, if you'll indulge me, like doing like a physical, each biome is open in it itself. As you travel there, you have a whole open area. And I think from what I can tell, unless you fast travel out to the other areas in the full part of the game, that area, you kill that encampment, it's empty. There's that gear's gone. Those enemies are gone. They don't just respawn cheaply, which is one thing I hated about Dragon Age. Enemies are just materialized. Hey, here's a battle area. Whoop, we showed up. Time to fight. These enemies are actually here. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, cool.
Anyway, I don't know. That stuff is cool to me. That feeling like the world actually means something, I suppose.
Well, we now have 3 months to find out what they actually are going to do with this final product, right? Isn't it coming out in February, if I'm not mistaken?
Yep.
So there you go. You have your preview. You got your look into the into it, and everybody got to see what's going on. And now we're gonna give it 3 months. We're gonna find out how it all turns out in the end. So yeah, Godspeed. I hope it works out. Guys, get out of here.
Safe. Gaz says Colt's head is a biome. Yeah?
Well, that
I can put the whole map up here, all right?
Yeah.
You know what? Your whole nose is a biome, Gaz. How about that?
That is true.
I'll tell you what, we aren't perfect. Neither of us is perfect, but, Gaz is a little bit more perfect. I'll give him that. Let me read some supers because you guys are fantastic. Spartan661, thank you so much for the super for $5. Said, Meg leveled up by learning how to make lasagna, and we got an emoji for it. Keep up the great work, chef.
That's right.
Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite. Have you tried the lasagna? It's my favorite.
Atta boy.
Oh,
good for
dude,
you,
that
buddy.
guy got so much tail back in the day. That lasagna dude. You know it. Give me that. Wait, give me that. Risk it for the biscuit. Thank you so much for the $8 super. It says you could get Bruce Willis. That way you'd have the real thing instead of the Wish version of him, and he'd look younger.
What?
He plays Xbox, not PlayStation.
Oh. Risk it. Keep it up, man. Keep it up. You're going to join Ryan and Gaz in the blocked category. There you go.
He'd rather raise Bruce Willis from his ornamental, wonderful, legendary place of resting than to have Mag on here. What's your favorite Bruce Willis movie?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, you got to go with the original Die Hard.
Yeah?
The original, 1987. Yeah, you got to go with the original, man. The original is the classic. It's the best. It's the best one of the series, and I would say his best movie. I would say a close second. There's another one that was actually pretty good. That was I'll say a tie for second place would be Sixth Sense, and another one that was not as known was called Tears of the Sun. That movie was dope. And then of course he had a nice little spot in Pulp Fiction in the 90s. Is there?
Zed's dead, baby.
Zed's dead, baby. That's right. Yeah. So Ninja Squirrel, knock it off. So,
Pulp Fiction, permanently scarred me in many scenes. There's a scene
Really?
where Gaz is wearing the gimp suit with the ball. Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, that one messed me up. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat says, "Where's my PSVR 2 and Quest 3 on Xbox?"
Can you believe it? Ninja Squirrel actually said what I said. Best Bruce Willis is Tears of the Sun. That movie is insane.
I need to see it. What's that one?
Dude,
The Last Boy Scout is classic too.
Yeah, Tears of the Sun is actually pretty disturbing. It's yeah, but it's good. It's good. It's good.
You know, another disturbing Bruce Willis movie was the other Shyamalama Ding Dong movie, the Unbreakable.
Oh, Unbreakable. Yeah, that was.
It was good, but the
movie.
ending scene when that family is like being assaulted, I'm like, yikes.
Yeah, that was rough. That was rough to watch. And then they did Glass after that and whatever else. Yeah, great. I enjoyed those movies.
Mr. Glass,
enjoyed them quite a bit. Yeah. Anyways,
it's great that they got Samuel Jackson working with them in that. Christopher Jetzer, thank you for the $2 super chat. Says, what are your thoughts on the potential Sony deal? Let's talk about that in just a moment. Let me see where that is on the yeah. Oh, some stuff gets to move around. Yeah, let's talk about that now since you asked. The heck? It was like my keyboard didn't want to work here. It was announced. This is a really smooth transition. It was announced that Sony and PlayStation plan to buy Kadokawa, a company that owns a major conglomerate for anime, but also owns the gaming studio company FromSoftware that makes Elden Ring, made Sekiro with Activision, and Dark Souls and Demon Souls. The question is, would Sony make this a perfect time for me to unexpose myself? All right. So it dulls me, Mag, because I have to apologize when I get something really wrong, and it really upsets people, breaks their heart. They get upset, and their, aft area prolapses. But I made a bad mistake. I was in the middle of making a video for my weekly news video last Thursday, the day this news broke for FromSoftware, and I was in the middle of recording the news plus a FromSoftware break, and I get a message from Randall Thor while so I do the videos like this. I've got the camera rolling, I'm rolling live, and I'm talking off the top of my head, looking at bullet points, like, here's the news, here's what I know, and I'm giving my opinion. While I'm in the middle of recording that, I get zzz, zzz. Rand says, look at Jason Schreier. He put out a tweet. Jason Schreier put out this tweet and says, don't worry, fans. FromSoftware games will be, I'm thinking off the top of my head, FromSoftware games will still be on Xbox. What I didn't realize, and I'm in the middle of recording, so I'm like, oh, cool. So I grabbed the quote, throw it in the video, and I'm going to get to it next. I didn't even look at the meme. He memed and made fun of it, showing the PlayStation 5 as an Xbox. So his joke was, don't worry, it's still going to be on Xbox. It's going to be on PS5. Rib.
Yes.
I'm not used to Jason Schreier ever trying to be funny. The guy is a...
well, he dropped 2 doozies in a row, but yeah. The
so,
first one, never mind. Go on.
Yeah. I've never seen Jason Schreier try to be funny or be sarcastic or satirical. I also don't see a lot of his stuff. He's had me blocked because of a stupid Final Fantasy opinion. But yeah. So anyway, I put this in the video, like saying, hey, I wouldn't put it past PlayStation making these games exclusive, but more than likely they're going to keep most of the games. Like Elden Ring 2 would not be exclusive. Especially if Jason Schreier is saying this. And then, of course, the PlayStation fanboys are like, Colt lied. He lied! And the best part about this is, I have to explain, there's a big difference between someone knowingly giving false information to trick people. I've said a lot of crap that hasn't been right. I'm like King, like 90%. He says 98% right. I'm like 90, 86% right all the time. Every time. And I've never once knowingly said, you stupid morons. I've never once knowingly said something to be misinformed on purpose to misdirect people. And there's these fanboys out there, Mag, who think my nefarious plan is to get you guys to like a game, buy a game, or get excited about something just so that your hopes can be dashed. So with that out of the way, I think it'd be very likely that PlayStation is petty enough to make even an Elder Scrolls 2 or even an Elden Ring 2. Sorry if I said Elder Scrolls earlier. Even make an Elden Ring 2 partially or fully exclusive to the PlayStation. Because they're
You're
like
correct.
that.
You're correct.
I talked for a while.
No. I was just gonna say one sentence is that the people I talked to have oh, by the way, something else which I'm sure we're gonna get into shortly about a PlayStation Portable. We talked about that in February, said that it was already in development.
Yeah.
But now it's news, right? I mean, you know what? Listen, I get it. I'm not even angry because I get it because when we started getting in all this information, especially me when I got that that foot in the door and I started getting a floodgate of all this information, which have all been correct, by the way, all of it, every last bit of it.
Well, almost all of it, Mag.
Come on, name one that wasn't. Name one that wasn't.
It's notorious, but I guess they haven't given you too hard of a time. You heard that Jedi Survivor was going to be 4K 120 on PS5 Pro. Now it's like, what is it? Like 384, 492p or something?
Yeah, that was someone at EA. That was not my guys. That was somebody else who said they were trying to brute force the game.
Apologize to everyone for that one, Mag. I had to apologize.
It wasn't me.
Apologize anyway.
It wasn't me.
For the good of the show. They got me in the shower. It wasn't me.
Wasn't me. Yeah. 120 on the PlayStation. Wasn't me. Yeah, that one didn't pan out. Like I said, you know what? Even when I read it live on the show, and I'm like, this doesn't sound great, but like this was sent to me. So, but my people did say that the PlayStation Portal was not Portal, excuse me, the PlayStation Portable was already well in development, and that was way back already, almost a year now. So that was something that was already being worked on. It was something that was going to be native, not like the PS Portal. However, he did also say that the PS Portal was also getting that update. That was back in the spring. They were talking about being able to use the cloud tech and all that stuff, which they're using now. So I'm like, okay, all right, cool. All right, that's cool. What were we talking about? Yes, the FromSoft situation. The one thing that I did hear is it said, listen, the FromSoft situation, if it does go through and it does happen the way that they are, it says apparently they're very aggressive about this move. They really want it, and it's not really about FromSoftware that they want. It's more like the anime because the money is there. FromSoft is just something that's going to drive more people to the platform. He did say the game, he said from what he's heard from people in both camps, is that the games will not be exclusive. They will just not be exclusively on Xbox.
Yeah, so, and if a FromSoftware game comes out and it's not on, if a regular multi-plat game comes out and it's not on Xbox, like people will be ribbing me for days, and the
legacy titles will stay where they are, whatever else. But what he said, that was the exact quote, by the way, and I got a good laugh out of that. But he was being dead serious. So what you'd find the games on PC and PlayStation is where you would find the games moving forward. Now, none of this has happened. Okay, so let's not get excited just yet. And nothing's been said, nothing's been announced. It's just that these are the words that have been going on through the back channels. So we'll see what happens when it actually happens. Okay, but in the meantime, just what I heard, whatever. We'll see how it pans out.
Yeah, the other report was that it was they went to Sony to kind of save them from a hostile takeover, and I don't know a lot about that. There's also a quote in there from Hoax Law in my video that he said that this is like a $15 billion deal, and PlayStation doesn't have that kind of money. Then I heard conflicting reports that like this deal's only about 2 or 3 billion. So I don't know where Hoax Law got those numbers. Maybe that's a tweet that he put out and he's like, and he probably corrected it after the fact. But when I put together the news videos, I grab everything I can up to the week, and the video goes out on Friday. So Thursday I try to put it together, and I've been doing videos for so long on my channel, like 7 years I've been doing this gaming stuff, and stuff changes. Sometimes I'm wrong. Sometimes, I don't know. Yeah. Sometimes you just don't get stuff, but
it is what it is.
It is.
Not everything that crosses your plate is like whatever, but like usually the solid stuff comes from solid people, solid sources, whatever, especially people who are that close to the top or whatever.
Yeah. And
those are the ones you trust. Then
it's dumb of me to not like catch the satire or look at the image. Like I saw the image. This is an Xbox. I didn't even look at the PlayStation with Jason Schreier. I stand by. Dang it! I didn't think he was actually going to be snarky. He's never snarky unless he's arguing with someone. But dumb mistake I made.
He did put up a snarky tweet. He put up a snarky tweet around the time that Dragon Age Veilguard came out, and then he said, "Go woke, go," and then he put to the top of the sales charts, and then it was like a real smart ass kind of thing or whatever, and we're like, and then someone pointed out, they're like, dude, this is they pointed out the sales, and they're like, This is like whatever X amount percent of lower of like any of their games they've ever sold or something like that. Whatever. Anyways, he's just like, and then he started talking about owning the chuds and all this other crap and whatever.
Yeah, and I don't want to use that.
And I'm like, that's weird. That didn't seem like him. That didn't seem like something he would do. Like he does. Like he can be whatever. And but like I mean, he doesn't have me blocked. I've had interactions with him, and I don't.
I only had one, and I talked to. Yeah, I had one. He said that he didn't feel like Final Fantasy VII demo was like a full game. And I'm like, I said, well, it's not. It's supposed to be broken into 3 parts. And he blocked me. Like, and I'm not making excuses because there's certain like journalists and devs, I don't get snarky with them because they deal with it like in force, right? So I try to just be straight up and normal with them. And I didn't even think it was an argument. I'm like, well, it shouldn't feel like a full thing. Like it's meant to be piecemealed out into 3 parts. And I got blocked. I was like, well, that sucks. I didn't even know who the guy really was. Wait a minute.
So he was arguing that Final Fantasy VII wasn't a complete game?
Yeah, he was talking about the demo even. And he's like, I know it's a demo, but I don't feel like I'm getting the full experience. And I said, well, you're not. It's supposed to be broken up into 3 parts. Because way back in 2019, we knew that Final Fantasy VII was going to be like a trilogy type thing. Right. And I don't even really know a lot about Final Fantasy. I was just saying, well, I mean, it really shouldn't feel like a full thing. And he blocked me. And I know people always say, I gave Colt facts and he blocked me. Like there was seriously no snark in the reply. And I thought, well, that kind of sucks. Like he just doesn't want anybody like saying anything contrary to what his opinion was. It wasn't even that. Who cares? Who really cares? I do want to say, I don't want to make an excuse that I didn't think that Jason Schreier should be snarky or satirical or make a joke. And that's the reason why I got it wrong. It was lazy. And that night the video was uploaded with the Jason Schreier thing on the screen. It's Red Wagon. One of the dumbest guys on the planet was like, Colt lies. All he does is lies and use a screenshot of that because, nobody listens to him. So he has to talk about other people. But
he's not a very nice person.
He's not. I mean, he's the poor guy. Like he got dealt a bad card, bad hand, and he takes it out on other people, and it sucks. But
really?
If you're having a tough life, just be nicer to people, make some friends, and that friends become a support group. And talk about what you like. But
he's been nothing short of an a-hole to me. Like every time I've had any conversation with him. So.
Yeah, that's too bad.
Yeah, I mean, he's just a very nasty, ugly human being.
I'm not nice.
I don't mean
to
ugly physically. I just mean ugly, like
hey, there's your arm on the screen. There's your long arm. Yeah, I know, and I'm not. I'm not always nice. I can be a jerk sometimes, but I feel like I can get my back
like that
against the wall.
Not like that.
JV Sue says, just be nice. Salute. Yeah, I mean, I need to do it more often, but the point being, Rand called me that night and he's like, dude, you didn't see the meme? And I said, what? He goes, the Jason Schreier thing. I go, no. And I'm thinking, I put the quote on typed it out so it was like on there so it looked nice in the video. And he goes, you didn't see the joke? And I go, no. He goes, man, people are going to get you for that. And I go, yeah, I'll deal with it. I'll own up to it. And then I put it in a pinned comment, but nobody, whatever, who cares? Talked about it long enough. Let me move on here. You guys are amazing. What are we at? Shout out to over 500 people watching the show. We had about close to 600 earlier. Thank you so much. Guys, if you're here, hit the like button. It actually really does something. When you hit the like button, it's a big deal. It helps us. It powers us. It powers the show magically with its unicorn stuff.
It does.
BT Maverick says, thank you for the 5, BT. He says, how was the map in Avowed? Was it 2D scale? First question. The map is a fantasy RPG map, so it's like illustrated and it's 2D. Meg, have you tried the Portal's cloud gaming update? Did they actually add Bluetooth web browser for the hub? Wink. I have not turned on the PlayStation Portal. I've been so busy with work and gaming on my consoles that I haven't had time to turn it on since the update. So I haven't done it. I haven't tried it. I should give it a shot just to check it out. All I hear is good things about the Portal. And I know I'm mostly an Xbox guy, and I don't really want to stream games on a smaller screen. I don't use that thing as much. Over there, you can't see it.
That screen on the Portal is pretty big, man. It's actually really impressive.
Yeah, and you got the controller you like.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's actually really much better than I expected to be, and super light. But the screen was the most the screen and the sound are the most shocking things. I couldn't believe how good the sound is, and the screen is actually of quality. It's a big screen, and the picture quality is excellent. And then of course it's got all the haptic as built into the DualSense 5, right? It's built right into that thing.
It's a good product, man. It's $199 right now.
Yeah, it's $199. It might be cheaper it might be cheaper because of Black Friday. So
I think I saw it for $199 today in the US, which is a killer price. And
I think that's the normal price.
I don't think I would use it. Man, that's a good price. I mean, I made fun of it so bad, but it was actually missing key features at launch.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore. So
because now you don't even need to own a PlayStation. That was the key. Because now you can play. I think all you need is a PlayStation Plus Premium, and then you can access like 150 whatever plus games and growing and whatever else.
Sidebar. Sorry, I'm watching this gameplay footage and I miss the game. I miss Avowed so much. Like the third person stuff isn't perfect.
The walking doesn't look as bad as you made it sound. Like I'm watching it, and I'm like, okay.
You'll see your character slide a couple of animations or so, and but yeah, it's not bad. It's actually pretty good. But the thing I tried to convey to people is if you go back to first person, it's just so good in first. So you're like, oh, but I want to play in third. But then when you're in first, you're like, this is really. It's kind of how I felt in Starfield. When you're in first, you get this premiere, like up close, like really highly polished experience. Then when you're in third, you miss everything on the front half of your body, but you get to see your character. So it's always a trade-off because he's
Sorry, I had to do it. I'm warming up for a few weeks from now. World premiere.
Yeah, for the Keeleys.
And of course, without hesitation, here comes Magnum, scumbag extraordinaire, right away. The guy can't even take one break, right? We were talking about how we missed you. We're like, where the hell's Magnum? He hasn't been on the show or whatever. One super chat asks me one question about the PS Portal, and here comes Magnum. Mag is going full pony again. Unbelievable. I can't even breathe without being called a name. Unbelievable, Magnum. I'm glad to see you're back in town. Do yourself a favor, dude. Have a Toblerone. You'll feel better. And then, like I said, go get some 4XP Grave Walker, especially me, because I'm going to be walking on your grave when I'm done with you. You better get some of that stuff. White gummy flavor, man. I can't wait to try it.
Is Grave Walker the white gummy one?
Yeah. That's the one I'm looking forward to the most. And then the other one is Ultra Nightmare.
Yeah, shout out to Sith. Thank you, Ultra Nightmare. Sounds delicious. Shout out to Sith Lord, who is usually watching the show super late. We appreciate you. Sith Lord hit me up and said, which one should I order? And I said, the white gummy one is the one that sounds the best to me, but the watermelon one sounds good. And he said,
watermelon sounds dynamite.
He ordered some white gummy. So,
did he? Oh, excellent. Yeah, Sith Lord, what's up, dude? He always sends me funny.
White gummy sounds, it sounds good. I don't know. It just sounds.
He's from the wastelands of Chicago where Randall Thor lives under a bridge. He's the troll of Chicago, as he's known. You have to pass him a carrot in order to get over the bridge. Otherwise, he's going to eat you, and then that's it. That's it, folks. You know how it is. So, anyways,
under the troll bridge of Chicago. Spartan 661. Thank you for the 5. Everybody, I hope the super. What do you call them? The notifications that pop up are working. I hope they're good. I hope you like them. Let me know. Spartan, thank you so much. Says, I have several different guitars with different pickup arrangements, 4 different sounds. Do you have a preference? Rocksmith is a great learning tool. That's a game that was out like a decade ago. I am strictly a bridge middle and full neck pickup player. I like to go up to neck pickup for the really juicy sounds when I'm doing solo stuff, and then rock out toward the bridge position. That's what I like to do, but only guitar players know about that nonsense. Chris R, thank you so much for the 5. Says, don't worry, Xbox will call Elden Ring 2's bluff by making Halo exclusive to PlayStation as well. Yeah. What a mess.
Oh my God. Oh, sorry, I better not laugh at that. Magno will call us ponies.
Well, I mean, it's good that we can
risk it.
Yeah.
That's just par for the course for that guy.
Yeah, I mean, it's good that we can laugh about it. I mean, the first half of the year, it was such an angry discussion. And then once you realize, wait, did I lose any games? Am I gonna be able to fiercely fight with the PlayStation guys?
We had some criticisms. They were pretty valid, but I don't think we weren't angry. I think it was a lot of the fan base got super angry, not only with us. I mean, we took a lot of those bullets, but we, as the kids would like to say, we caught a lot of strays, but it had nothing to do with us in the end of the day. I think it's just that people, when they realized the direction that Microsoft was moving, it was the denial and then the acceptance phase of what was happening, and then things kind of calmed down. And I kept telling everybody, even back in January, I'm like, guys, just because all this stuff is happening and you hate my guts right now, because I'm telling you, and then I'm still getting it up until a month ago, but I'm just like, it doesn't mean you're losing anything. Like, it means nothing. Like, it's like, it just means that other people are going to have access to what you already do. No one's taking anything away from you. Your Game Pass will be there. Your Xbox will be there. A next-gen Xbox will be there. A next-gen Xbox handheld is going to be there. They're all going to be there. Nothing is going away. It just means that there's a different avenue people can go down who are not in that ecosystem. That's all it means. It means nothing else. You're still going to get to play it. Sorry, that's my Jerry Seinfeld for it. You still got Xbox. What are you talking about?
I have no idea, Jerry. Yeah, that's the only thing I can do is Frank Caliendo's version of George Costanza, because I've listened to that so many times. He does like the whole Seinfeld cast all in one dude. Our concern is that games would miss the console, because if the Xbox console becomes, not as relevant in the gaming space, but just today,
it just means they manufacture less. If people are consuming more on PC or cloud or PlayStation or wherever the hell they're going to do it, you're not going to not be able to access an Xbox console. You'll still get it. They just won't produce as many. If they produce 40 or 50 million instead of 80 million, then that's what they're going to do.
Well, now it's only going to change 40 instead of 80 right now,
or whatever. But I'm just saying it's an option. And and if you're still selling tens of millions of consoles, you think they're going to stop selling them? No. That's still an avenue of revenue for them, right? They're not going anywhere.
I think the concern is kind of misled from a lot of fans who are like, we're already seeing games skip the console, or developers saying, "Oh, we're only making a PlayStation version right now." I don't.
Oh, you mean third-party stuff?
Yeah, third party. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, when you were talking, I'm like, that's not quite on the track. But
my bad. Yeah.
If a developer like Wukong is not missing Xbox because there's not enough consoles. Wukong is not on Xbox because the devs weren't going to put it on console at all, and PlayStation stood up and said, "Hey, we want this game. How much to get this game on our console?" And they said, "Hey, just put it on ours. This money is for you guys." As you would walk into a business and say, "Hey, no, this is for me." And I think there's been a couple of instances where a game misses Xbox because there's not enough support or not enough consumer bases. But the reality is, if you've got 30 million Xbox Series S and X's, no developer of any size is going to leave that off of their table.
Well, why would you cut off the possibility of even selling $500,000 or $1 million?
That's the reality of it. Is
you know what I mean?
Mag said it perfectly. A small or medium-sized developer is going to guarantee themselves 250,000 or 500,000 sales just by including the Xbox brand, and they would never purposely do that because it's not worth the time. And I think those are silly. Really rare instances. Go ahead, Mag. What do you think?
You have to put. Oh no, I was going to say you have to put in the extra work in order, to be able to develop on the other consoles, especially the fact that you have two consoles, right? The Series X and the S, and then it is what it is. But you put in that extra work with the possibility of selling anywhere between 250 to 500,000 extra copies. Let's just say, just for argument's sake, we're going to say that. Then it's worth the extra work because in the end, it justifies that extra work is what I'm trying to get at. That's basically what I'm just trying to say. So, it justifies the extra work in order to get that extra revenue. Why wouldn't you do it? Of course I would do it. Yeah. So that's not really, that's a narrative that shouldn't be a thing out there. It's just whatever. It is what it is, but they're going to be where they're going to be. And like I said, if you like to be there, no one's taking it away from you. So you'll be just fine. You'll be just fine for many, many years to come. It's not going anywhere. Microsoft's not going anywhere. And even if one day they decide, hey, we're not doing this anymore or whatever else, you're still going to get access to your stuff because they're never going to cut it off. Because can you imagine the lawsuits of all I mean,
there's
your digital libraries and Yeah, I mean, it'd be a mess, and it's something that they're not interested in pursuing. So I would not worry about it. Everybody, let's just calm our bones.
There's a lot of that Xbox is going to that they're going to be done in a few years and close up shop. And I know that Dreamcast guy, people got really mad at him because he sorry, I'm fixing timestamps as I go, so those are ready for you guys. There's a lot of talk that Xbox is big trouble. They're gonna close up shop in a few years. Game Pass is not sustainable. This week we learned that Game Pass is absolutely sustainable. Call of Duty is doing incredible. Most of the players are on Game Pass. Call of Duty is still doing really great and boosting up numbers. Stalker is doing great, even though it's available for free on Game Pass. I think there's this perception that Xbox is small. Xbox can't get it done. I've got my gripes with the platform, but sometimes I feel like, man, do I just have it wrong? Am I one of those guys that says, Xbox needs to do this and this and this? Why don't they understand this is the way you run business? And then if I snuck into a conference room, I'd be laughed out the door because they could show me charts to go, look, the traditional way of selling games doesn't work in the 2020s after the pandemic ended. And PlayStation is making major pivots. They just put out a big graphic today saying that they're going to bring their games to a whole new audience, or multiple audiences was the word they used. And I think that means, hey, we're selling on the Portal and on PlayStation and on PC and then on game streaming. I think that's really where gaming is moving. And when Mag says someday they'll do away with consoles, I think that I'm still going to stay with that day is the same day as PlayStation. King David of the Iron Lords podcast says there's no PS6. Well, no, they said there's a PS6 in the works. Phil said there's an Xbox predecessor in the works. So in 2
the consoles will always be an option, dude. They're always going to be an option. They just may not produce as many as they did before. Mm-hmm. So if they have projections of let's say 100 million PlayStations get sold and 60 million Xboxes get sold, right? You would look at the next generation. You would say, okay, mate, you know what? At that point, as technology starts to increase, starts to get better, then you're going to find out that PlayStation's next console might only sell 80 million physical consoles,
which is still really good.
Yeah. No. But it's going to progress. You see what I'm saying? It'll still be an option, but it's going to go down a little bit because then people will be able to access it in different ways, from a handheld, from the PS Portal, whatever it is, depending on people's funds. You have to think about that as well. Not everybody can afford $1,000 console, right? Which is what the PlayStation 5 Pro cost me $1,100. Not everybody can afford that. Not everybody can afford a 4090. You know what I mean? For way more than a PS5 Pro. By the way, so all these other things. So people will be able to go out and buy a PlayStation Portal, or they can buy a Steam Deck, or they can buy an Asus ROG Ally or whatever, and access Game Pass on that side and access PlayStation Premium on the other side without having to buy the console. As long as they got decent internet at home with their parents or whatever else, you'll be fine. And then you'll see that 100 million PS6s go down to 80 million. You'll see that the Xbox's 60 million go down to 40 million, 45 million, whatever. And then the next generation after that, it'll go down even further. It's not going away, but they're going to get smaller.
And then eventually there's going to be a point where it's
Blu-ray players, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Everybody consumes they consume like Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and HBO, whatever else, Crave and all that stuff. But they still sell Blu-ray machines out there. It's just smaller and smaller and smaller. But the option was never taken away from you. It's still available.
Yeah, right? I mean, and consoles will be more prevalent than Blu-rays will. Like the Blu-ray market is probably.
I know. I was just making
right.
I was just making an example. Yeah. It was just that the technology
10 to 15
will still
years,
be there,
right?
Oh, fuck. Forget it, dude. 10, 15 years. I'm turning 50 in less than in 2 months.
My buddy's like, are you still going to be doing this, doing gaming content when you're 50 something? I'm like, no, it's pretty
Shout out to my fellow Canadian who lives actually not that far from me, Paul Chatto. Go check out Paul Chatto's channel, by the way. He's absolutely hilarious. Amazing guy. But you got Paul Chatto out there. He's 70. He's still gaming every day. I mean, he used to be a programmer as well way back in the day when he was doing stuff, right? So, while he was being a comedian and an actor, and he was an executive in Hollywood and the whole 9 yards. But during all that, now, he's on Midnight's Edge with those boys, and he's 70 years old, dude. He's still gaming hard.
And I think our generation
every day.
If you're Gen Xer,
still do it.
Yeah, if you're a Gen Xer, you're going to be playing games all the way up until you're retired. My neighbor is 68, and he has a PS5. He's like, "What's the deal with the new Call of Duty?" He has to ask me questions. Like he's excited about Grand Theft Auto and Call of Duty. Yeah.
Yeah, my neighbor's 56, and he's turning 56 this year. And
he's young.
He games hard. Man, he's gaming hard. He's got his consoles. He's gaming every day. He's doing his thing. He's got his groups. He's got his buddies. He's got his whole, he's got his online crew and everything else. But
Raise your hand
really
in the chat.
interesting.
Raise your hand in the chat if you think you're the oldest one in this chat. Because
let me see. Let me see who's older than 50.
You don't have to say how old you are. 50. Just put the raising hand emoji or something like that if you think you're probably the oldest one amongst this group. Because when I started talking about gaming stuff on forums or on YouTube, like I felt like the oldest guy in the room, and then I was like all sheepish about it. But
Texas Lean, we ain't going no place. He's just said y'all better be here 20 years from now. We're gonna be right here, right here. Except I don't have to wake up from work the next day.
They'll have to put it intravenously.
I'll have an IV right next to this arcade machine. I'll have an IV of 4XP. A white gummy going directly into my bloodstream and be like, "Let me tell you something, you son of a bitch." Sorry, I sound like an old Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Son of a bitch. Yeah.
Death Stranding 5 is coming out next year. I swear it.
Did you guys notice that Mag has his cabs on today? The arcade cabinets are lit up.
The arcade cabinets are on, and the room has been redesigned because I had empty spaces in the background, and I thought I would change it up, and I turned on all the machines and got everything going, and I got all the arcades going. Of course, I turned the sound off. It was so funny because when I first turned them on, I sat down to do the show, and all you could hear is Blanca from Street Fighter going, and I'm like, Colt, I'll be right back.
I couldn't hear it from here, but you were like, "Oh my gosh," and then
all I could hear scared the crap out of me. I was sitting here talking to you. I'm like, yeah, so anyways, what are we going to talk about? My face hurt
you got me like smiling the whole show. Shout out to 500 people who are watching. We appreciate you so much. You guys are amazing. I shut off the background on the show as well. I had an animated background. I thought it was just kind of maybe going to give me a headache. So hope you guys are liking the show tonight. Hit the like button and show your support. Let's get that up to 500 likes, and then it'll be great. Thank you so much. You guys are great in the chat. We got another super here from David Douglas. Thank you so much for the $5 super. Says, better buy accessories and hardware now before tariffs kick in January. A 25% increase. My 68-year-old neighbor said the same thing. He's like, "Hey, do you need a washer and dryer? I'm going to buy a new one for the tariffs." And I know Mag's on American, and you know me, I don't follow politics, so I'm dumb.
I'm half American.
But yeah, Mag, as gaming fans, you want to spend money.
I wouldn't sweat that just yet, guys. I think it's a massive overreaction from what's going to happen. I don't think, it's just, let's not get into it, but I could tell you this. It's a massive overreaction from people. So just calm down. It's not going to be what you think it is. So just relax. And trust me, I know. I work for an American corporation. I know exactly what's going on out there. Okay. So I wouldn't sweat it, guys. Video games are not going to cost $130 January 21st. So don't be don't be ridiculous. And your washer and dryer is not going to cost twice as much January 21st.
I mean, it would be such a damaging.
And I'm half American, by the way, just so you know.
Oh, thank you.
Straight out of the Bronx, baby.
I mean, we would have you either way, but
what do you mean you would have me either way?
I mean, I don't like Canadians really. I don't even really like Australians. No, I'm just joking. No, we would have you no matter what.
Are wild.
The Australians are crazy, and they're
Canadians are super nice until you put a hockey stick in their hands. Then they turn into feral monsters, straight out of Stalker 2. You think Stalker 2 skinless dogs are scary? Why don't you put a hockey stick in a Canadian's hand and it's game over? That's it. No more Mr. Nice Guy. That's what ends up happening. And Risk It, you better calm down in that chat. You see him in the chat.
I thought you were Italian, so apparently you. Mike's.
Well, I'm Italian. I'm Italian by heritage.
Yes.
Both my parents are Italian. My mother was born in Belgium because of World War II. She had to leave Italy. My dad had to leave Italy and went to Australia. And he lived there for 22 years. And then he went, and then the families all moved to New York because there was more money there to be made there. And then from New York, half of the family moved to Toronto, which is where I am now, and the other half of the family is still in New York. So they're all still there. So my dad is an American citizen. And then, of course, that made us American citizens, half American citizens. And then before 9/11 happened, we got our dual citizenships. And then that was all there is to it. So
dang.
I am a creature of both countries. But after 9/11, they changed a lot of the security rules and stuff like that in terms of citizenship. I'm sure you could still do it, but there has to be like special channels you have to go through with the consulates and everything. So, yeah. But as it stands, I'm half Yankee, half Canadian. But I was born here. So.
Okay.
There it is.
Well,
there's my whole family history, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Ask Mag Anything. That's right.
My mom would have loved that. That's the only segment of the show of 176 episodes that my mom would have watched. Oh my gosh, she's talking about genealogy. I love it. That would have been my mom. I put up a poll in the chat.
Yes.
Also in the chat, if you get a second, just tell us what country you're in. I love seeing where everybody. You know, I love the Australian audience that watches us early in the morning, and then the UK people who should be in bed but are cool enough to watch and be in the chat. That's awesome. Love to hear where you're from. I put a poll up to say, what will Avowed get in Metacritic? Will it get a 90 to 95, 80 to 89, 70 to 79, or 60 to 69? And right now, people are thinking in the 80s.
It's going to be in the 80s. That's where I think it's going to land. Yeah,
I hope so.
Even though Risk It and the Biscuit gave it a 50. Just so you know, I found a way to find out what he gave it, which is not even on the. That's what he gave. Risk It is out of control. You see the stuff he's saying. Mag says Australia hates Xbox. Mag says Australia is poor.
Shout out to Brothers Grimm in Scotland. That's awesome. We got Devil's Island in Canada. We got Dr. Dry Rub in Bronx, New York, LA for Jay Siren.
Nice. I see a Scotland in there. My wife is Scottish, so
that's
Scottish
awesome.
Irish. Yes.
I would love to go over there.
I actually own a piece of Scotland, just so you know.
It's just a small little segment there.
I have a framed thing on the wall, and it has like its name and everything else. And then I gave the deed to my wife as a gift, and then they gave her like a royal name. And then so the piece of land I actually own is mine, and then it has a picture of the land. And then I've got it framed on the wall. So I own you, Scotland, my land. If we cannot move them out, we shall breed them out. Good idea, sire. Is it? Name the movie, ladies and gentlemen. Name the movie. Name the movie.
I feel like it was.
Name the movie.
I felt like it was there.
If we cannot move them out. Yes. Come on, see if anybody knows. Name the movie, and then you figure it out. Hey, Niagara Falls, Canada. There we go, buddy. I'm in Niagara Falls like literally every 2 months. So every 2 months I'm over there messing about, usually falling down Clifton Hill.
Yeah. Noise Fomo says, Colt, what's your prediction of the poll? Well, if the story and characters are great, like if it tells a good story and you actually kind of want to see it through, I think it'll get an 82. I think
82. I'm thinking low to mid 80s. I'm thinking 83 to 85.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But somewhere
what's
around
the
there.
poll at? Yeah,
It's
right around mid 80s if I was going to do the math there.
Yeah. That sounds about right, because you always you're going to get the people who give it the 10s. You know, and then you're going to get the people who give it the 5s, and then you're going to get everybody else sort of smack in the middle, and then and then you're going to have Risk It, who's going to give it a 37.
Hey, Risk It got your movie right, though.
He did. Well, a lot of people got it right. It was pretty hard. Yeah. Moose, human centipede. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, I think about an 83 to 85 makes the most sense. It would have to be pretty broken to go below an 80, I think, because then you're going to have a lot of reviewers. You know what I mean? That like tank the review or whatever if it's broken. But judging by what you guys have been saying and playing, it doesn't sound like it's broken at all. And you know what I mean? Even though you got a small segment of it, but it sounds like it's going to be a great, fun little game. I'm highly interested. And again, it'll be on Game Pass. I'll be there day one to play it. And I love RPGs, man. I love RPGs. And we shall all play it together. Now, my question is. Sorry, yes. I have one more question about this.
Yeah.
And this is one that we haven't talked about. And it's the frames per second.
Oh, we didn't. Yeah.
And that is the pink elephant in the room. Give me that pink elephant. Name that movie.
Pink elephants. Pink elephants on parade.
I want the pink elephant. If anybody names that movie, you get a shiny nickel for that one. Anyways,
ask
How
away.
Are the frames? How are the frames? You played it on PC or did you play it on Xbox?
I played it on PC.
Okay.
And if you paid attention in the beginning of the show, I've got a really great PC. 4K 60. I had to turn on DLSS to get a smooth frame rate in the openish world. So very demanding, or very the optimization is still not quite there. One of the two. Okay. So thanks to Paris from Kind of Funny Games, he interviewed Carrie Patel, the lead director of Obsidian and Avowed, and she said, we kind of got misquoted about the performance. She said, we want people to understand that 30 FPS on Xbox is the least that we are going to deliver. But yes, we are working on a performance mode. She made it sound like they're
performance mode for PC?
For console.
For console. Okay,
she said on Xbox, 30 there's the long arms again. 30 FPS is the hold on, I didn't hit live. Yeah, the long arms.
Those long arms, man. Dude,
I don't mind. It's just still fun playing the game that way. I'll leave the FOV wide like that. 30 FPS is the very least. So what it sounds like is they're having a hard time making sure that 60 FPS is locked the way it should be on console.
Right.
So, but I was more confident in their answer because Todd Howard had to come right out and say 3 months. What was it? 4 months before launch. So even earlier than Avowed would launch, he came right out and said, we like 30 FPS. I want the little bits. This is what I want. This is that we want it solid, right? He made that very clear. And Starfield came out at only 30 on Xbox consoles. So Carrie is saying that they are pushing for performance on the console.
That's good.
I think they're almost there for 60, but them being afraid to say, no, it's going to be 60. We're working on it right now. Leads me to believe that it's not ready yet. And hopefully, and I say fingers crossed, like I say, hopefully it gets an 82, not for any other reason other than if the game's an 82, I'm going to love it because I already like the game a lot as it is. And I would err on the side that this thing runs at 60 FPS, at least on Series X. And if they decide, hey, Series S can't really do 60, it's not stable enough, so it's only 30 on the Series S, you get both modes, quality and performance on Series X, I think that's still a pretty cool prospect. The game doesn't look like it's going to melt your console, but, I hope it's good. And like Sotness says, hopefully it's not a jittery 40. I don't want a 45 frames mode. I already got made fun of for the thing about Monster Hunter Wilds. They have a fake performance mode that goes up to like 55 frames. Up to from 41 to 55. No, that doesn't count. Turn that crap off. Either target 60 or don't. That's what you, Donnie. A lot. I appreciate you, Donnie.
All right. Magnum nails it. The only person in the chat to nail it is that the movie of our I won't say the F word in there, is Darkman, ladies and gentlemen. Darkman, the Sam Raimi movie with Liam Neeson. And that's right. That's the movie. That's the movie.
I've never seen that.
Oh, dude, it's so awesome.
I got it. I'm sorry.
Schlocky and horror action, whatever. Yes. Carry on. Yes.
I just wanted to mention, since I saw it on screen, the mantling is pretty good. Like, it's not perfect, but the way you can run and you mantle up on rocks and ledges and stuff like that just makes you feel more mobile. And a lot of people said the game looks slow. Maybe it's just how I play it, but it's very challenging too. I died a lot. The last few hours I switched it to the easy mode instead of normal. And I almost said something I'm not supposed to. Yeah, it's difficult. Forget that. We'll wipe that.
You didn't say it. No, you didn't say anything.
Yeah, I didn't say anything.
You didn't say anything.
There are perks to living in this house, I guess. Anyway, yeah, his lips are sealed. Anyway.
Fails at 180 hits again.
What'd he say?
No, because I was saying Magnum was the only person who got it right, and he's like, "That's because it's your other account, Mag." Oh, remember he was the one who said that earlier about me arguing with myself. Yeah, that was a highlight of my night so far. Well, that and risk it losing his absolute mind tonight, but it is what it is.
When doesn't he, right?
Yeah, well, it's the heat. It's that Australian heat. It makes him go crazy.
Gosh, and all the bugs.
Drink some water.
Yodana Kizada, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Says, Xbox got to pay the phantom tax, so we eating good. Bro, eating better than the Costco guys into risk. Oh, jeez. So Yodani. PlayStation is Ohio, no cap. What the Sigma? Yodani with the with the Gen Z speak or whatever. Gen
I
Zero,
know, eh? Yeah. What the
what do they call him? What do they call him?
Skibbity toilet.
Yeah. What do they call my kids like generation? The Generation Zero or Generation like Y or not Y?
Okay, dude, I'm not even kidding. I actually there's somebody who I had an interview with for a job, and she called me bro.
Oh, in the interview?
Yeah.
Was she young?
She called me bro. She's 19. I almost burst out. I'm trying to be serious, right? Because I'm I'm a goof even at work, but not when it gets when it gets super serious. I got to be like at least pretend to be serious for like a minute. And then she called me bro in the middle of the interview, and I was just like, she's totally hired. She's totally hired. Yeah, I just thought that was. I mean, if she said skibbity toilet, I'd give her my job. Like that's. I'd be like, you know what? You could have my job. It's fine.
That's CEO material, right? That's CEO material.
That is CEO material.
I just heard that this phrase is what the kids are saying now. Oh, they're so down. They're so down. I'm like, we were using that in like the late 90s. Like,
yeah, we were doing that.
Like crazy. Yeah. And somebody told me that. I'm like, there's no way that's what the kids are saying. Like,
I know
like it's a new thing. Like if somebody was like down to do something you shouldn't do, or it's been a thing forever. It wasn't exclusive to any like group I hung out with.
Game adaptation, my guy. That is another one that drives me nuts. My guy.
Yeah.
And then the other one is what is the other one? I don't know if they still say. Well, bruh is just funny. I say it now just to be an idiot. So now I just say it. I walk around like bruh. So I just do that, and then it's just kind of funny. But the other one is too that drives me nuts, and I don't know if I think it's probably moved its way out of the zeitgeist because now I see it in commercials. So once you see it in commercials, you know that the cool kids aren't saying it anymore. Let's go!
Oh my god!
For everything, it's like someone scores a touchdown. Let's go! Oh, video game got a 7 out of 10. Let's go!
You know when it's on a commercial that it's. I remember
like A&W burgers, and all of a sudden it's like, get the teen burger for only $4.99 with a soft drink and fries. Let's go.
I remember.
I'm like, oh no.
I remember like 18 years ago or 15 years ago, I would wear a button-up shirt with the sleeves rolled up, and I'd leave it untucked, and it was like a cool look with jeans, and that was like a look. And I remember I saw a commercial for like Kohl's or JCPenney. It's like, all the men's hot new styles. And it's like a 40-year-old guy. And I'm like 30 back then, 40-year-old guy. And it's like with the untucked shirt. I'm like, well, guess I got to tuck my shirt in now. Last thing you want to do is be JCPenney trendy. Yeah. You got to watch out for that stuff. Now, when you get our age, it doesn't matter what you wear. You'll never look good.
What are you talking about?
Unless you dress up. Like
I always dress when I leave my house, I always look my best. Always. Even if I go grocery shopping, there's nothing that drives me nuts more than when I go grocery shopping and then someone shows up in their PJ pants.
PJs and Crocs. Yeah.
Mind you, I'm Italian, so we have like a fashion thing. But I'm like almost from across the grocery store. I'd be like, could you put some pants on? Like, what's the matter with you? You couldn't put some pants on? You show up with your PJ pants and your slippers? Jesus Christ.
Well, I mean, I can dress nice. Great. I can dress nice. Good. That's
good.
Brush
your hair.
But it's like the trying to wear like when you're in your 40s trying to figure out what jeans should I be wearing? Should they have lots of bedazzles or just a few?
You have to make sure you have a rhinestone belt. I mean, otherwise, what are we doing? I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing?
Bro, what are we doing here? Just tuck in the front of your shirt, rhinestone, bedazzled jeans, and and you're ready. You're good to go. And everybody thinks you look fantastic. Yeah. Brother Grim goes, you always got to tuck your shirt in.
I never tuck my shirt in, ever.
Hey, I can tuck my shirt in now.
If I'm wearing a suit, that's different because you're wearing a suit and a tie. Obviously you have to tuck them in your pants, and then you got the blazer on top, and then your tie. You can't have that untucked. Like, what are you, Mort? So you got to look nice.
Remember the trend like 10 so years ago? The executives or gaming executives and developers would come on stage for like the game showcases, and they'd have the dress shirt untucked, suit coat, and jeans. Like that was the uniform.
And the white sneakers.
Yep.
And the white sneakers and the black baseball hat with no logo. It was just a blank black baseball hat, white sneakers, running shoes. Yeah, running shoe. Hey, let's not make jokes. Okay, Phil Spencer wore that from 2014 to 2019.
Bro, if there was a Phil Spencer Barbie doll, that would be the only outfit it came with. Dress shirt, blazer. But now Phil Spencer's
it'd be a video game shirt under the blazer.
Phil Spencer's got the t-shirt, the bomber jacket, the jeans, the white tennis shoes.
Yeah, that's cool.
The shirt says gaming is for everyone. That's the Ken doll for Phil Spencer.
I was gonna say I'm gonna pay Phil Spencer to wear a shirt that says "Risk It's a Pony." Just wear that at like the Game Awards, and he goes up on stage and he goes, "Anywhere where Game Pass exists," and he'll be like, "What's that shirt he's wearing?"
It's got the pull string on the back.
Yeah.
In platforms that Game Pass exists. Yeah. In platforms that Game Pass exists.
Like Woody from Toy Story.
There's a snake in my boot.
Yeah. My biscuits are burning. Where Game Pass exists.
It's like
where
put
Game
it on
Pass
PlayStation.
exists.
Put it on PlayStation. Just over and over.
That's it. We're off the rails, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you like the show. We're having a good time.
I'll tell you, I'm not gonna lie. If I made a if I made a Barbie doll, Phil Spencer doll, half you guys would order one. You use it as like a voodoo doll. I dare you.
I would buy a Phil
there.
Spencer doll.
I dare you.
Funny. That'd be hilarious. You know how many videos I'd make with a Phil Spencer doll? Like just having it there, like a good like size doll,
Well, just put it close to the camera and just talk to it. So it looks.
Yeah, just talk to it, or just just do this and move it around.
Put this on PlayStation, Phil.
Yeah,
huh?
I'm in.
Do it. Put him in a headlock.
Oh my god.
All jokes aside, like I know they're making changes. He said the no red line thing, but I think that was him saying, "Why should I have to define which games would be included? Like, there's so many games that, like, why not? Why not put Avowed on PlayStation in a few years, or why not put a game that has an online component in a couple years or whatever? I don't know. It's Bobble Phil says Noise FOMO. Appreciate you so much. Yeah." Spartan 661, I'm sorry, I didn't get to your chat. Thank you so much for the 5. Says, I'm loving Game Pass. We are gaming good. Absolutely, Spartan. Holy crap, there's literally 4 games right now. When Indiana Jones comes out, you've got Stalker you haven't finished. You've got Indy Jones. You've got Call of Duty Black Ops if you're still playing online. And then you got Flight Sim, which, like I said earlier in the show, looks pretty good on console. Holy crap. So, yeah, we are eating good. He says, we Xbox fans have a roadmap and Sony lost their directions. Going in circles.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
They're going to have a killer 2025. Yeah.
Xbox is doing great. PlayStation's doing just great too. So I wouldn't worry about it. Just be happy. Let me tell you something. Just be happy that the game industry, no matter what you hear from people or whatever else, just be happy that the game industry is doing well, making money, and future looks good. Because you know what? No, they're not tanking. Yeah. And then, of course, Nintendo has been sort of sagging as of late, but that's because they're at the end of the generation, and they're literally on the brink of the Switch 2 or whatever you want to call it. Yeah, they're just waiting to pounce, right? So it's just a matter of time, but it's great that everybody's doing well. That's what you want.
Thank you, Mag. Thank you. Because the rumor is that March 2025, which is in 4 months, Switch 2. And it may not be super exciting. Like, I think that Switch is just going to be bigger, better, same. And it'll do phenomenal. But that inject into the arm of the games industry of Nintendo going, all right, we're here again, is going to be really good. And
it's going to be big. And then, the second half of this gen are going to be doing well because all those games that Xbox has been talking about for like 7 years are finally going to start coming out, which they already are as of now.
And PlayStation's going to put out their new stuff because they've been doing.
PlayStation's going to rock the second half of this gen too. Don't think they're sitting on their hands for the next 4 years. Like, don't be riridiculous. Everybody says the same crap every generation.
And I say it too. I say it too sometimes.
No.
And Xbox is going to have Xbox is going to grow in a lot of different ways, and I think we're going to reap the benefits of them. Like reinvesting into the platform, like there's going to be bigger deals being cut or bigger games coming out or games more often as they kind of work. And if Xbox is able to like kind of expand out a little bit, get a stability of platform foundation like they're doing right now, I mean, they're going to be able to go to other studios and say, hey, you want to work with us on this one? And it'll just be more games for us. And I know we make a lot of jokes, but Xbox is growing right now.
They'll be fine. Like I said, everybody will be fine. It's just second half of this generation, I think, is going to be explosive for all of us because, and I don't mean the companies. The companies are making money. They're laughing at us, okay, with people arguing and all this petty nonsense and this and that. At the end of the day, us as gamers are going to be the ones who are going to reap the rewards of this, because I kept saying it over and over and over again for years. I've been saying, listen, competition breeds excellence. And in order for us to reap the benefits of that, you want these companies to clash or work together or do whatever they're going to do with each other. And they're going to, in the end, the people that get everything are us. And then, like I said, you will not have to buy $1,000 PlayStation in order to access their library very soon. Even actually, you could do that right now. Xbox, you don't have to buy anywhere between a $400 and $700 console in order to enjoy their games and whatever else. The thing is, at the end of the day, it all boils down to the software and what they're doing.
Games.
And both companies right now, I'm excluding Nintendo because, like I said, they're waiting to pounce. Those two companies are going to be bombarding us with games. Never mind the third party on top of all that, and it's going to be a wonderful time. I think the next 4 years, from 24 to 28, are going to be nothing short of awesome, and I'm looking forward to it as a gamer, as a consumer. I'm looking forward to consuming all of these products and really enjoying myself. And we're going to be on this very show and on my own show and everything else and everywhere else. We're going to be talking about all the fun stuff we're playing. That's all that matters, man. That's
Meg's
all that's
so right. Like, I know you look back at the past 4 years of this generation, and there's been a lot of really good moments, or there's been some like really killer years of games that you played either third party or exclusive.
Sure.
Like Meg's right. Like, PlayStation has had kind of like the PS 4.5 experience, a lot of ton of remasters, right? They've had really highly rated games that we kind of already played ish, right? So they're about to like have their generation arrival the same time as Xbox. So Mag,
that's what they always
I don't want to say all that again because you said it so perfectly, Mag. It's going to pay off. We had to get out of the COVID, like spiked up players, and then there was a major drop down.
COVID didn't help anybody. I mean, we had a year and a half of like uncertainty that was thrown in the mix there, and then it really messed with everybody.
Like a year where people weren't even working on games too.
Yeah, it was really rough. It was a really rough time for the industry. And you know what? And actually, funny enough, of all people, the people that talked about it the most, Sony didn't really talk too much about it. But Phil said it. He said, "You're not going to feel this until 23, 24." Is it because, you know, during the pandemic, you were getting all the stuff that was being worked on in 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020? Is it, but the stuff that we were supposed to be working on between 20 and 21 and a half, you're going to feel that in 23, 24. And he wasn't wrong, right? He wasn't wrong.
It turned out right, for sure.
But the world is course corrected. And I think that the next 4 years in this industry are going to be awesome. And I really look forward to it, man. It's going to be exciting and fun. And just game where you want, game where you can.
Lots of games.
You know, just enjoy yourself, you know?
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. By the way, another thing I was going to bring up, you're talking about the Avowed thing and people talking about the first person open world thing being a little, you know, some people want to pay. I literally just putting 70 hours into Avatar, which is an open world first person game. As the same thing. There is, mind you, there are ranged weapon combat in there and whatever else. But like, yeah, I mean, it's still a first-person open-world game in the same vein of, right? And it's an RPG light.
I mean, Indiana Jones is coming out. Can we just say, please stop these games have to be third-person?
No, they don't.
I know that I know I say it a lot of times, and I hear it so many times. I think people forget that sometimes first person was the right choice, or they forget I am loving this game and I'm playing Stalker in first person. In fact, I think lately it seems like most big games have been first person. Maybe. I don't know if that's true, but I don't want to lecture you guys. I just want to say, when you find yourself feeling like, man, I wish Indiana Jones was first person, I wish there's a third person mode for Stalker, or I wish you were mentioning Avatar or whatever. Like, just remember, sometimes you're just going to play the game and you're going to love it the way it is. And you're going to forget that. You're going to forget like, hey, this is good the way it is. It's kind of silly for me to tell you how you should feel about it, but maybe a little bit of what I'm saying is give it a shot. You're probably going to end up loving it the way it is. And I really liked Indiana Jones. I wasn't feeling like I wanted to see him running around in third person, because the way you feel up close and personal in some games, it was the right choice. So I don't know. I just hope that we need to stop making the blanket statement. I'm preaching that everything needs to be third person, because I hear it a lot. And
Yeah.
I'll be
Like I
curious
said,
to see how you play Avowed when the game comes out. Maybe you're going to say, hey, Colt, the game's out, and I really like it in third, and I
So
play
you
it
have the
a lot.
full option, right? That's what you're saying? You have the full option?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, we'll see how it goes. Because, I mean, like Hogwarts Legacy, I put 100 hours into that, and that was all third person, and I enjoyed the hell out of it, and I enjoyed the combat and everything else. I think it was a wonderful game. So, and then right now I'm 70 hours into Avatar. So, and that's first person, you know what I mean? So I've experienced both in an open world RPG, and I'm enjoying myself either way. I think it doesn't boil down to the camera angle. I don't think it, or the perspective of the player.
It's cool.
I think it more has to
for
do.
Sure.
It has to do with the environment and the quality of the game. Like when I'm playing Avatar and I'm looking at this beautiful monitor guy in front of me, I feel like I'm on Pandora. Or if I'm, you know, I'm at Hogwarts. Okay, or you're in the world of Avowed, is that the Pillars of Eternity world or universe that you're in, right? And so you got all that going on. It's about the experience. The experience and the game has to come number one. If the game stinks, it doesn't matter if it's first person, third person, second person, fifth person. It doesn't make a difference. If the game sucks, it's not going to be good. But if the game is awesome, then it won't matter because you say, oh, it's more immersive this way. Oh, it's less immersive this way. It don't matter. Quality is everything. That's what comes first. So let's just see. Let's let them do their thing. Let them finish this game. Day one, we will be back here on the show and we'll be talking about it. What is the exact date it comes out? Do you have the date? Anybody in the chat?
February 18th for Avowed. Yeah.
Ooh, one day after my birthday. So
and it's like a day or two away from Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 and Assassin's Creed Shadows. So
Shadows can wait till Shadows is going to wait till Black Friday 2025, so I'm not worried. Okay, so it comes out on a Tuesday. Of course it comes out on a Tuesday right after we're done our show. Actually, the Monday is a long weekend. I might not even be here. And that's actually on my birthday as well. I might actually not be here for the show. So that's February 17th. You hear that, ladies and gentlemen? February 17th is my birthday. I expect a lot of gifts. I want 4XP gaming tubs sent to my house, at least 400 or 500 of them. Anyways.
One for each hand.
It comes out one for each hand. Well, how many hands do I have? What am I, Goro for Mortal Kombat? That was intention. Yeah.
Let me finish reading
so
this.
You and I are going to have 6 days of Avowed before we come back to the show. So we'll have 6 days of in-game play. And I think by 6 days, you and I will have a pretty damn good idea of how good this, of what we think about this game, right? So
yeah,
anyways,
and I want to
super
see,
chats, go for it.
Yeah, and I want to see how people end up, which one they end up preferring, because I think they're going to like first person as well. So they'll probably just have a mix. Spartan was saying Sony has lost their directions, going in circles, and can't find their way this generation, and that's true for Xbox. I think both it's fair to say PlayStation and Xbox have both had a difficulty of finding how they're going to kind of move in the business. And Meg covered that a lot earlier. I just want to make sure I read the whole thing that he was saying, because Sony has, but I'm going to add Xbox also is kind of trying to find their way. And I think they really are. Both of them are starting to figure out, hey, it's okay if games are on cloud and on PC and on maybe on other consoles. So we'll see some change. Boner Jams, thank you so much for the $4.99. Super Chat says, I received 47 pics from Mag, which based on the amount of no clothing, guess it was for Mrs. Mag. Colt, hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Boner Jams, he sends me the same pictures, and he always goes,
they were for you, Boner Jams. They were for you. Yeah. Oops, I accidentally sent you 76 nudes. Whoops.
Felt cute, might delete, as the kids say. No, not the kids, the younger generation. Well, I'm canceled. Well, it's great knowing you. Thanks, guys.
I've been canceled 18 times this year. What's your count? I have it on the wall. You know, like in prison, when they have like on the wall, they do the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the cross with the chalk. Yeah. I think I've been canceled 18 times this year, but I'm still here. So, you know,
funny? They tried to cancel me over Death Stranding.
The finger was not for the chat. You guys rock. The finger was for other people. Yeah.
Oh, that
actually, you know what's really funny? Yeah.
Sorry,
I gave that finger. I gave the double finger. You know what's actually funny is that I actually have more followers and more traffic than I ever did after getting canceled 18 times. So it's kind of funny. I just found that was hilarious. My last short video got 65,000 views. I was happy with that. So not the last video, the video before. 65,000 on the last, not the last video, the video before.
Which one was it?
I can't remember now. It was the one before I did the Trump one.
Well, I'm going to look at your account. What are you called? What are you called on there?
Not TikTok.
I follow you.
No, it wasn't TikTok.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
Carry on, sir.
Yeah, carry on. I will. Emperor Hound, thank you so much for the chat. Says we have a saying back home in my country: old times something come back again. Yeah.
I know what that means. Said. Yes. Yep.
They're from.
Yeah. No, he's from close by to me.
Okay. Bit Fernaldi, thank you so much for the 2. Says PJs in public should be punishable by flogging. You should hit them with their own PJs. Is what you should do.
Flogging sounds fantastic. Yeah. Yes.
I had to take my son's instrument to him to school, and I'm like, I guess I got to get out of my PJs and put on some pants. So I'm walking into school. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you so much for the Australian $20. Says, like that lumberjack shirt, Colt. Yes, the lumberjack. I have a flannel that's like famously emblazoned as my surprise face that people love to meme. Happy Bomb, what's going on with the emoji thing or with the coin thing? I want to make sure I'm keeping up to date on that. Spartan 661, thank you so much for the $5. Brings us all the way back to the late 90s and goes Jinko jeans, Airwalk shoes, and a Nirvana t-shirt with a flannel long sleeve shirt. Let's go. I like Tool better. Push it. Laugh out loud. Yeah, I wasn't a fan of Nirvana back in the day. Not back then anyway.
Funny? You know what's funny? I wasn't a fan of them when they first. I mean, I was a fan of a couple of their songs when they first came out. I was like, yeah, I enjoyed it. But I gotta say, over the years, I really started to appreciate their music and what they actually did, and their chord progressions were very, very unconventional. And I was just like, man, this is actually way better than I gave it credit for when I was like 17, 18 years old or whatever. Right? I didn't really think about it, but yeah, they're amazing.
The tough part for us, Mag, and we were 16 or 17 when Nirvana really got popular. The problem was you and I were raised on rock and then hair metal, and then all of a sudden grunge came in, and we weren't like 12. So like when grunge came in, I was like, what? And for me, it was like I was so fixated on melodic high production music that when I heard Nirvana, I'm like, what the crap is this? Because it was I
was everywhere though. I was everywhere. I was listening to hip hop back then. My first album I ever bought, believe it or not, was Run DMC Raising Hell.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was the very first album I ever bought because I got like $10 from my parents for whatever, I don't know, for a birthday or something or something or other, and I had $10 in my hand, and I was with my aunt, and she took me to the mall, and we were walking around the mall, and I said to her, I want to buy this, and so I bought it, and that was the first album I ever bought. Was Run DMC Raising Hell. Yeah. And then I listen to everything though.
I think my first CD was like the first Boyz II Men album or something.
First CD I bought was Beastie Boys' License to Ill.
Oh my gosh, that would be like my 20th CD. That was a 1986 album.
I was still listening to cassettes.
Oh yeah.
I didn't even have a CD player. My dad eventually bought a CD player.
I bought one
still living at home.
In 1990, I had a good job making $5 tax-free. So I went and bought a CD player, like one you sit on the shelf, and I bought like 3 or 4 CDs. One of them was Richard Marx.
Marx.
Yeah, I mean that I'm telling you, when Nirvana came out, I'm like, what is this crap? Because one of the number one songs next to Teen Spirit was Extreme More Than Words, which I didn't like that either. I thought it sounded like a country song, but the music changed so severely in 1991. It was 1990. It was crazy.
Oh yeah. Then that's when we went through like the early stages of rap. You had like the metal of the 80s, and then the hard rock of the 80s coming off of the 70s, and then you went into like right off of like the rap, the early rap craze, and then it turned into the gangster rap when you had like you had Ice-T, you had NWA, you had all them, Snoop. Then all of a sudden you had Snoop Dogg and Dre breaking off doing their thing.
Bro,
then at the same time,
I hated rap, hated it until gangster rap came out, and I was like, oh my gosh.
Well, NWA changed everything. Obviously, go see the movie Straight Outta Compton, great movie. And then at the same time as all that was blowing up, then you had Metallica going mainstream with the Black Album. You had Nirvana. You had Pearl Jam. You had all these other. I
liked Pearl Jam and Stone Temple Pilots because they sounded so great.
And I'm going, holy crap! And Guns N' Roses, obviously. And you had all these monster rock bands and all these monster rap bands all happening at the same time, and you're going, this is never going to happen again. not in that level. And then I think it all died after Biggie and Tupac died, and then the band started whatever. But then you still have the bands. AC/DC still doing their thing. Metallica still touring. Guns N' Roses, I think they were touring up until a little while ago. A lot of the rap groups are still doing their thing. Ice Cube was just in town a few months ago. Whatever else, right? It's still happening. However, the birth of all those music genres happening at the same time, I don't think we're going to see that. I don't think we're going to see that again, because you know what started happening? Corporations took over music in the 2000s, and it all became a product as opposed to music, and it all became song as opposed to an album, and therefore they except for Taylor Swift, they've lost their way now, and so now the only people that are still huge that are doing the kind of things, I mean, outside of like Post Malone or whatever else, and country music, the rest of them are just a product of a corporation just releasing a single song and they disappear. You know what I mean? Or two songs and then you never hear from them again or whatever, and it becomes disposable, and it's just not what it was. And then the only ones that are still carrying that tradition alive are generally the older musicians.
Well, Rick Beato, who is one of the biggest forces of music information on YouTube, explained that in the top 50 or top 100 of music, there's like 2 bands. There are no bands anymore. They're just acts, like single acts and produced singers and performers. So the concept of a band is completely gone, which makes sense in our modern era. I feel weird taking guitar lessons because I'm like, I'm not in a band right now. And
they're still bands, dude. They're just not. They're not reaching that level of like just and another universe. Moose, I'm just catching up with this chat. He goes, Mag, you've obviously never heard of Taylor Swift. You obviously didn't hear my whole sentence. No, because I did get to it like a minute later, but
you covered it though.
I covered it, but yeah. Anyways, that's our music talk for today at the end of XMC, ladies and gentlemen. But we're gonna have to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, keep an eye out for Happy Bomb's member chat in green for the winners. Texas Lean won a Call of Duty coin.
Nice.
When they reach out, you can email me to get the form so you can get the coin sent to you. It's all done so that I don't have to have your address. You just fill out the form and it sends to you, and I can't come to your house and start stealing your socks. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat, thank you so much for the Australian 5. We appreciate you guys so much for so much support. I like it when you have guests on, but Mag is always very polite so they can have their say. Today's XC has been great because much more Mag talk. Thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, Corey, No for Life, also agrees with you that I need to talk more. Him and Magnum agree with you 100%. Thank you.
Wait, Magnum's your other account. You're just telling yourself.
I'm just telling myself. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I loved having the guests on, and then I'm like, man, sometimes Mag and I don't just sit here and just rap, and I really had a good time tonight. We got one more that rolled in.
Tonight, man. Yep.
Yeah, it was great. Spartan 661, thank you so much for the $5 super. Says, I have Lord Cognito on a list of metal to listening to besides Green Day. Yeah, Lord Cognito. Green Day's his only metal band he listens to. Man, my friend got mad at me when I bought the Green Day. I bought the Dookie album in 94, and he's like, get out of my car. Like, because he was only gangster rap and hip hop. That's all he'd listen to. And that's mostly what I listened to, but the Green Day album was huge. And I bought it. He goes, I can't believe you bought that. Get out of my car. And that's how people are in high school. They're super petty. Let us know in the chat. Man. What's your all-time album? Like the one that you can listen to, you never get sick of. I've got a really crazy one for you. It's a really weird one, but I never tire of it. It's an extreme album you've never heard of. It's their third one. It's called 3 Sides. And they recorded in Abbey Road Studio, and it's like a concept album. It's amazing. I don't know why. I just love it. Mag, what's your number one album? And we'll say our goodbyes.
Man, that's almost impossible. But I'll name one from each genre. How about that? Okay. I could say that.
Wait, how many genres are there?
I'm just going to say of 3 that I can name.
I'll give you 3.
I could just going to say Metallica's and Justice for All. Okay. Michael Jackson's Thriller.
Ooh, nice.
And NWA Straight Outta Compton.
Dang.
One from rap, one from metal, and one from pop. And I think that pretty much covers it. I mean, I know that's from a bygone era. Yes, I still listen to new music. My brother's a professional musician. He performs with all these new acts all the time and great acts. He performed with the Fugees not that long ago. So, he's doing all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, so we're still doing, I even still get all the new stuff and all the new bands, and I get to check them out and stuff. And I love Jack White. I'm trying to get tickets to Jack White in February. He's playing at a small venue here in Toronto, so I'm going to go see if I can check him out. I was just at his studio in Nashville, Third Man Studios. I was at his actual studio there. It was great. So it was pretty cool to check it out and whatever. But I'd love to go see him perform live. So that's the plan. Anyways, what about you? You named it, the Extreme album.
Yeah. If I was going to pick one from another genre, the ultimate rap album would be Doggy Style by Snoop Dogg. It's freaking
that is
in every single
one
way.
Hell of an album. That is
it would have been album. It would have been Chronic. Like Chronic was perfect, but when Doggy Style came out, it was just like everything and more. And I was really big into gangster rap for many years. Yeah.
Magnum hits me with Appetite for Destruction. That was also another absolute 10 out of 10.
Yeah, 1987. Yep. Yeah.
Jesus, Depeche Mode, ZZ Top, Eliminator. Jeez, man. Holy. It's almost impossible. But those are the go-tos. But anyways.
Yeah. Well, that's crazy to talk about music on a gaming podcast, but you guys, Hybrid Theory. Yeah. The Linkin Park's debut album is Hybrid Theory is the name of the actual band before they changed themselves to Linkin Park. That debut album is phenomenal. It's so good. I love that. Yeah. You guys are crazy in the chat. I love West Side Connection. Yeah, my wife had that CD when we were dating. Yeah, that's Snoop. Is it Snoop? Ice Cube, and
no. Snoop wasn't part of West Side Connection.
Not Snoop. I mean Ice Cube, Ice-T.
Ice Cube.
Who are the three in West Side Connection? Well, I mean K1 will be able to tell us because it's your favorite.
All I remember is Bow Down.
Yep, Bow Down. Yep.
Yeah, I can't remember.
And Lethal Injection. Lethal Injection album for Ice Cube was unbelievable.
Ice Cube's first solo album, America's Most Wanted, was possibly the most vicious.
No, that's the name. That's Spice One's album. Is America KK's Most Wanted.
No, that was Ice Cube's first album. Solo after he left NWA. Dude, trust me, I have it on cassette.
I mean, I have
CD,
the Spice One album.
I have it on
strap
vinyl
on the side of me.
I'm telling you right now that it's America's Most Wanted, and it's spelled KKK's Most Wanted. And
wait,
it is.
Did you say
Ice
Nightmare? Because that is the name of the Spice One album.
Who the hell said Nightmare? Not me.
Oh, what did you say? Most Wanted. Okay.
America's Most Wanted. Ice Cube.
That was the most with Today's a Good Day, right? His debut album.
No. Today Was a Good Day was not on that album. That was later down the road.
Oh, jeez.
America's Most Wanted was the most vicious rap album I'd ever heard in my life. He just unleashed all his angst from NWA and just, holy crap. That album was so vicious. It was just like...
Same as Chronic. Like they were all against Eazy-E and all those, and Tim Dog and those guys.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah. I didn't realize how many albums he put out before
I literally own America's Most Wanted. I own that album on cassette, on CD, and vinyl. Because it was just the greatest, and it took me forever to get it because it was an import, right? And nobody wanted to sell it, because it wasn't really. Anyways, either way.
Yeah, King Styles won a coin as well. You can email me.
Hey,
appreciate you guys. Crazy. This has been a long show. Thank you guys so much for everything. We appreciate you. It's been a great show tonight, and we'll see you here on the channel. I'm gonna plug my TikTok. I know it sounds funny, but I am doing full production 1-minute videos on TikTok. And some of the stuff is not even on my channel. It's not even featured in videos. And I'm covering new games and new ideas and stuff. And if you like some of the stuff I do, I promise you'll like the TikTok stuff. Hopefully you could check it out. I'll also put stuff on shorts if I can, but shorts are kind of weird. They're not really going anywhere. It's kind of weird to say, but we appreciate everything. Meg, thanks so much. I'll see you. I'll see you soon. This week was a great show,
dude. We'll talk. Yeah. We'll talk before. Yeah, it was a good time.
It was really good. I'm gonna get out of here. Starving. You guys are amazing. Hit the like button. Thank you so much for fan art and 4XP Gaming. Check them out. They'll be in the description. Have a good week. We'll see you next time. Where's the outro?
Later.
Right there. Bye.